Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 137 of the Terminus podcast. I hit F12 and it brought up all the fancy stats on Google Chrome. It's not what I wanted to do.
Nice.
This is for the weeks of February 29th, 2020. And I am your dispatcher, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. With me I have all three of my engineers, Brett Weeble, Jacob Durbin, and Nick Christensen.
Boy.
With us, our brakeman returning after a couple of years is Warhawk. Welcome back.
Hello.
Returning by accident, I might add.
Completely by accident. I asked for this?
Pay attention to what you're responding to, I guess. At least you were right.
You asked for this, and that makes you sick.
I saw a question and needed answering because I saw no intelligent life was to be found.
I mean, when somebody writes the handbook...
Welcome to the foam pit.
Alright. We got a couple new arrivals in there that I'm excited about because they're on my stream.
That's something.
Oh, and there's going to be an alarm that goes off in like an hour and a half, and it's when the current poll ends, so I can promote the person. Anyway, hopefully that's not too intrusive. Like all the derailments that we're going to get to, or like the intro.
Okay, this week we're going up a cliff in a pickup truck. I have no idea what this spectacle looks like, but I'm assuming that it's slow.
Tonight!
Actually, when we came in, the pickup truck was rapidly rolling
sheep
backwards down the hill. So,
alright.
It looks like he's going to try it again.
Will he make it this time, ladies and gentlemen?
With a different vehicle. Okay. He's getting a different
With not a pickup truck.
He's getting... I don't know what he's getting. We'll figure it out. You guys will see it on the stream. That's not the important part here. The important part is all of these derailments that have happened since starting on February 9th, 2020. And UP. This actually wasn't a derailment. This was a person that was hit. A man was hit and killed early Sunday morning when a train hit him on the railroad tracks. As opposed to train hitting you off the railroad tracks. Which doesn't usually happen.
That's awful, Jader, and also very funny.
What did
the
Jader
train
say?
had bloodthirst, man.
A man has fallen onto the railroad tracks in Lego City.
Jesus Christ.
Hey!
The conductor told police the victim was reportedly sitting on the railroad tracks on a blind curve.
Well,
so, possibly a suicide. So that's unfortunate.
It could have been suicide, it could have just been stupid. I mean,
you never know.
The options here.
Well, this was... hold on, where was this? This was in...
Reading.
It was in Reading? Okay. So,
probably
suicide.
Probably
it's
suicide.
Not Florida.
Because who wants to live in Pennsylvania?
Wrong Reading. Reading, California.
Oh, even better.
Norfolk Southern derailed on the 13th. Oh man, flashbacks to the question from 2 podcasts ago. Train car carrying potatoes jumps the track near Highway 247.
Jeez.
It was just one car, no injuries, car is still upright. Obviously, nothing hazardous. What is with the autoplay video on this website? I already paused it once. CSX also had a derailment on that very same day. This one was a little bit worse. And by a little bit, I mean really bad. At approximately 7:05 a.m. today, a southbound CSX train derailed at Draffin, Kentucky. The train consisted of 3 locomotives, 96 loaded ethanol cars, and 2 loaded sand cars. The safety of the surrounding community, first responders, and our crew was top priority. CSX has confirmed a total of 5 rail cars derailed, including 4 ethanol tanks and 1 sand car. CSX continues to work with emergency responders. So, there was a derailment. The engines went down the bank into the river and caught fire, and it looks like fire also spread to one or more of the ethanol tankers.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Sounds spicy.
It sounded like a tornado was ripping through, just a real loud rumbling. This was a neighbor. He saw an orange glow when he got to his backyard. The flames were 50 to 60 feet in the air.
Holy shit.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
They hit a mudslide, allegedly.
Ooh.
Yeah. and
F.
the crew was trapped on the locomotive in the river, but they managed to get them out.
Yay.
Well, that's good.
Sounds like they had a lot of fun that day.
Yeah, first responders I'm sure had a lot of fun because they had to go and rescue them in like in an RHIB or whatever, or RIHB. What is it? Whatever,
Red boat?
a dinghy.
Red boat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
RH.
I'm picturing river like the locomotive fell and the cab's just barely underwater. This is a large river.
Yeah, this is a pretty significant river. Like,
Gotcha.
had to be rescued by boat river.
This is a not Colorado-sized
No.
river.
Yeah.
This is not a Shenandoah River.
Shenyun.
Canadian
Very
National
easy.
then derailed on the 21st. I'm just making sure there was nothing else in between those two. Train derailed in Ontario near Emo and is leaking crude oil. Train derailed near a northwestern Ontario town. Several of the rail cars are leaking crude. Or were leaking crude. I believe this caused the beginning of a lot of the news in the past couple of weeks, including basically an embargo and a slow order over the entire railroad for crude oil. And then,
Which is major considering that's a huge piece of traffic for them, and also it's transcontinental.
and also then the protests followed. I know they're only somewhat related, but everything's about crude oil. So this derailment
crude.
had repercussions beyond what one derailment typically ever has.
Which
Do
is
we know how long that protest lasted?
I know that in some respects I think it's still going. We have like 7 or
Yeah.
8 articles on it.
Oh,
Well-
jeez.
Well, I'm surprised, because something like this. What was the one? It was like 2013, a really bad one. That was on that one short line.
Macmegantic, the one that blew
Yeah,
up.
that. I'm surprised that didn't like spawn something like this back then. I mean, you think about. I mean, that basically bankrupted the railroad. They had to shut down after that. I mean, that was probably bigger than this. What I'd say. And I'm surprised that nothing spawned from that.
Yeah, I know. Well, that was definitely bigger, but I feel like the public awareness is higher in this day
Yeah.
and age, and also
Yeah.
again, it coincided with this relatively unpopular pipeline project, which created this whole. It got bigger than it ever had, than one would expect it to be.
Right.
Now we had 2 derailments on the 23rd. One was another train carrying fuel. This was a BNSF train, or, as the article reports it, a BNFS train. A Burlington, Norfolk, Fay Santa.
Fudge.
Ah, yes, my favorite railroad.
BNFS. Oh man, it looks like they string-lined an entire oil train. It doesn't look good. There's a second picture down here, and honestly, it's kind of funny. There's all the tankers laying on their side.
Oh.
They took it now.
There's some accidents that look really bad, and then there are others that you look at it and everything just looks disappointed.
Yep.
Oh no!
I watched this happen to a long N-scale train at the Big E. Also on the 23rd, KCS hit and killed somebody.
No.
Also believed to be a suicide because he was sitting on the rail and didn't move.
Boy, didn't see KCS.
Assistant
Because they
Chief Russell said that this is the 3rd person killed by a train on that specific stretch of railroad track in the past 18 months.
Wow.
Popular hangout spot.
Yeah, but 18 months though, Brightline is like, those are rookie numbers.
They had a great KD come right out the gate there.
And then Union Pacific hit another one, a semi,
one.
and pushed it 1,300 feet.
Oh,
That's a lot
geez.
of damage.
Yeah, it was running Longhood forward.
That's
All
good
right.
for Chris.
Safety first.
Yeah, lucky for the crew, I guess.
Yeah.
It really.
yeah.
I mean, I know how these things normally look, but honestly, just glancing at this whole thing, it looks like the locomotive is completely intact and the semi folded like a wet paper bag.
Backup
It's-
truck hitting
I'm
us
shocked.
soda
Yeah.
can, man.
The
It's
ice.
just
All right, and
no match, no comparison.
To round out the crude oil derailments, we have one by CSX, another CSX one, on the 26th. This was in East Chicago. Freight train carrying crude oil derailed. 18 tankers came off the tracks. No injuries reported. None of the tankers spilled any oil. Cause of derailment remains under investigation. This is a really crude oil heavy couple of weeks here.
Man, I came here to have a good time. I'm just getting depressed.
Well, I mean, this is the part where we talk about stuff that crashes and explodes and kills people.
This is
so,
always the depressing part.
Yeah. Well, we try to get it out of the way early.
Fair.
It's just there's a lot of it to get through this week.
Now, and it isn't even the worst week we've had, certainly. Now,
No.
there is an important takeaway here, which is that one railroad did not have an accident, and has not had an accident until since February the 6th.
You're kidding. It's not...
Which means...
Have they held the mantle before?
Canadian Pacific is the current holder of the Class 1 Mantle of Responsibility.
I thought you were going to say CSX and the universe was going to implode.
No, CSX had two. They had a really fiery one.
Yeah. I mean, they've been getting better, but, they're still CSX.
They're not,
You
they're not
had
quite,
me worried there for a second.
They're not quite the laughing stock they used to be, CSX.
No. Can I actually bring up a PSR derailment kind of related story real quick? It's somewhat related on the topic. It didn't happen. I think it happened a couple months ago, maybe like later last year in the summer. Because for us, like NS, they've been really combining a lot of the trains really, so they've been like massive, right?
Yeah.
And I guess there was this one time, I wish I had the photo still, but it's like anything 310 combined with NS 310 combined with something else, and as they're pulling out of about to head east out of Bison Yard, there was a old rusted scrap gun in the middle of the train.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And most of the time, a lot lately, knuckles have been breaking on these trains a lot.
Tell me this thing
at that time.
Yeah.
Tell me.
It did. It did.
Good. Yes.
It just.
I think I saw a Thomas episode based on this.
Yeah. No. Seriously, I'm looking at like this has got to be a sign. You guys can't go. Oh well, no, this is fine. I mean, I don't know how you manage that. Honestly, it's like, lightweight, old rusted car.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not be put in the middle of this long, heavy freight train.
I mean, they've just been throwing trains together.
I mean, look at the horseshoe curve derailments were exactly like that was the problem. You kept rolling empty like center beam flaps or like empty car front. And then,
They don't care.
no, they don't.
Railroad workers have a legendary, I don't want to say lack of caring because there are some genuinely good guys in the industry, but at the same time, like if there's something standing in the way of a job, like we can't be bothered to put this car somewhere else. There's a story told recently about the A-line cars for DIA's train. When they were being delivered, they were plastered with "Do not hump" notice, "Do not hump, do not hump, do not hump, do not hump." California, they went straight down a hump and wrecked like two of the cars fully.
What?
Because they just piled into a tank train at the bottom of a hump.
Whose hump was this?
God!
Who's what?
Whose hump?
It was BNSF, if I recall.
Okay. It wouldn't be UP. They got rid of all of them.
Well, this was way back when.
This would have been like 2015-ish, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Golden
2015,
era.
2014, maybe.
Okay.
Anyway, I just happened to I haven't been rail fanning at all. To move on to the next section, I really haven't been out much.
Oh no, same dude.
I have been. I mean, I was sick for a while, as most people here will know, and I've also just been busy as hell. So I don't make time to go out too much. I am planning a little trip to the WWF sooner or later, but I'm not sure when that's going to happen. However, I did have a nice moment where I was pacing an MBTA train on the way home. Just happened to be. I'm on the highway, I look over. There it is. It's got one of the new rebuilt F40s on it, which I think those things look pretty slick. And
Slicker and shit.
and I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, there's a thing here. I did do a Tolburn stream yesterday, but otherwise I haven't really touched the map. I think it was before last podcast that I made the last review and added the other module to the route, but Ryan's almost done with his module, which excites me. Because it's looking better and better.
Oh yeah.
I I want modules. Everybody knows that. I'm excited. But the thing that I started thinking about, right, is that I'm going to be moving from Tane into 2019 sooner or later. And I think I might scrap basically everything I've got in the session layer, all the AI work that I've done. I might just start from scratch, because I don't know what it's going to break, and also I've learned so much since I started doing the AI work that
That's fair.
I'm living in a different world. And I think there are ways I can do the AI that are, well, they're going to be much more versatile, like using the copy commands command, so I can make like subroutines that I copy in instead of doing every train on its own.
Right.
I don't know exactly, and I don't know how much time it's going to save me, but I think if I really get used to that and really buy into that, especially if there's maybe other related commands that I don't know yet,
Yeah.
it'll make a hell of a difference. And so there's another problem in trains that most rational people will never run into and will never have as a problem.
Oh no.
And it is something that apparently the devs really don't have any intention of fixing because, dear God, why is this a problem?
Because no reasonable people.
Okay, so you know the list of track marks?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
You know how it breaks down, you mouse over like go to track mark
Yep.
and it brings out the list. It's like
Yes.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't scroll that list, and it doesn't subdivide anymore. So if you have enough track marks that you fill the entire screen, top to bottom, with that list,
You're fucked.
there will be some track marks you cannot get to, cannot click on, and so you cannot add them to your schedule. And I realize this
Wow.
because I have filled up a good portion of the screen with track marks I've used just so far, and I'm sitting there going, what happens when this gets too big? And then I can't do it. And I went on the forums, and there's another track mark command somebody made that does another subdivision, but it's only like
Track mark 2.
it's only it breaks it down by like into like 4 different categories. So it makes it a little better, but it doesn't totally solve the problem. The thing that would solve the problem is a scroll bar, but apparently that's too advanced.
Right.
No one man with all that power.
You're basically granted, say, 400 track marks. This guy's thing ups it to 1,600 with the 4 subcategories, but you're still finite.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's where I am. I am like, okay, so how am I going to get around this, first of all? Second of all, my current AI work is super inefficient and uses like 10 times as many track works as I need to use. And the reason for that is I didn't totally understand the couple at track mark command. I thought it had to be, the thing you were coupling to had to be in the radius of the track mark, but it doesn't. It just picks whatever the nearest car is. So, I had track marks spaced out as like, this is for if there's a car here, and this is for if there's a car 40 feet away, and this is if there's a car, 80 feet away. And, basically an increment.
You've just got
of
a
single
row
car.
of them going down a spur.
Exactly. Olive Branch, the forestry at the end, is covered in track marks, and I could probably get away with like 7. So
7!
So I think that when I move into 2019, I'm going to blow away a lot of the session work that I've done. The things I might keep, I'll probably keep the signal stuff, because that customization,
Yeah.
like, there's no reason for me to redo it, and it's really annoying to do. And the interlocking tower customization. But I'm going to have to do more with the interlocking tower customization. The other thing that I realize that's a problem, or not problem, but that I can be more efficient with, is I'm currently treating the main lines very rigidly, and I'm not allowing bidirectional running on every single line. Which makes sense, but I can save a lot of conflicts by just moving some trains over and running some things wrong side. Which means that my schedule will run more efficiently. So I'm thinking about that, and every time I think about it, it's like, okay, but if I start tweaking what I've already got, I don't think it'll be Like, I think it'll get way too messy. I think I just need to start
Yeah.
again. As much as I don't want
Mm.
to. So, that's where
No,
I'm
I
at
mean-
with Tollbrand. I'm looking forward to doing AI for the modular, though.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really done much in trains this semester. It's just been really busy, and tonight I actually somehow have a little bit of time, and I was going to get on, was going to get on Gary's mod, maybe start building number 3 or just stick around or something. Turn on my monitor, and I don't think I've said this on here, but so my roommate last year gave me this monitor. He said, it works, but the color messes up every now and again. So I was like, all right. So he gives it to me. It works for, I don't know, a couple weeks. Color messes up. Fixes it. Or I fixed it. And then it was fine. I think I did it once, over the summer. But it was fine up until tonight.
And the Fire
And I
Nation
can't-
attacked.
And I can't remember how to fix it.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I can't find... I found it online somewhere how to fix it, but I can't find it. And I'm an idiot, and I didn't save it.
Those are the worst kinds of fixes.
Yeah.
I've done this before, but I can't remember how.
Yeah, so I'm probably just gonna buy a new monitor, honestly. Just
Alright.
find something for cheap because I'm not gonna go out and spend $100 or something
Right.
if I don't have to.
Well,
So
I
it's-
have some progress that's happened at the museum. We moved one of our Belgian cars, the 1048, inside our car barn,
Nice.
where we're gonna start doing some cosmetic stuff on her and do a mechanical assessment of the car to see what needs to be done.
The
She's
grand-
single-ended, so unfortunately we could run her if she checks out mechanically, but we don't have a track, so we would need the bat pole to run her, and that's a no with our overhead.
Mm.
So for now, she's just in the probably be a static spray and potentially an operating display, but she'll be ready for when we are ready to operate her. And I also made progress on the 1067, which is our Oregon Interurban car, and used the saw to cut some beams that were wadded out off of the car. And I'll probably be up there this Monday making those beams again,
Nice.
depending on if we have the material on hand, which I believe we do. So then we can start, once the beams are back in place, replacing the section floor.
I'm looking at some pieces of wood.
Yep. Yeah.
But I'm also looking at the car, and the car is cute.
Where's that tone of green? I bet shade.
Yeah, it's not going to be that way.
Oh, I like that shade.
It should be candy cane.
Maybe.
But hashtag they were green.
I love that this has become a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody has sort of the same reaction, which is it's a mix of joy and like, what have we done?
I can't believe
Yeah.
this is a thing.
I can't believe this is a thing, and sort of disappointed in the community for making it a thing, while all the while being happy that it is a thing.
I was like, we need a hashtag. And I was, alright. I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. It went somewhere.
It has gone somewhere.
Yeah.
It's a big...
Oh.
Sorry.
The big hot mess.
It's a big truck.
Seriously.
Well, so anyways, here's some screenshots of Pando, Colorado on Tennessee Pass. So I've been working on. I had some abandoned trackers and added some abandoned ties up to the old military base. Because I guess from what I could tell on Google Earth, there was still some ties and praise there. Yeah. So I figured I could be wrong.
For the spur, they never actually had track that went into the base.
Oh, okay.
Looks good though.
Do what you want. I thought that was the point.
That's got to be
All your
hysterically
base.
accurate.
Very accurate.
Historically, shimorically.
Stares at Sierra 38.
Yeah. And Canadian Pacific cars behind her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tourist lines be like,
Yeah.
First.
that's literally us. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's been debated, do we want to paint everything in, Hockey Valley colors? And for a while, that's how it was.
Oh,
And then
And
what?
I mean, it looks good. Now the idea is let's put everything back in its original scheme.
Rainbow.
yeah. Personally, I kind of like what Strasbourg has, where everything is in
Yeah.
their paint scheme, but it's still lettered for the home road.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
a happy little mid ground because it's
Yeah.
cool to preserve the car's heritage, but at the same time, it looks so goofy when you just have the rainbow consist.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Essex is like, this is ours now.
Yeah, Essex is like everything the light touches is the valley.
Essex is like peeing on the, the
That's
end
That's
sill,
the way to
like,
put it.
This is mine.
This is mine.
This is mine now.
I don't know.
Marked my territory.
I mean, we could probably do it, but considering that we have, last year we reprinted our two B&O coaches back to B&O lettering.
Good man.
They look amazing.
They look very capital.
Even though on the coach, if you look at it right, and if the light's right, you can still see where it said Hockey Valley Scenic on the side. But
Well, details.
anyway, yeah,
And it's a great way to stay in shape.
oh wait, I know what I can talk about. Okay, so I went home last weekend, and I decided to get some work done on the layout and actually try to make some visible progress.
I like that little layout you got going there. I really do.
Thanks.
I
There's-
like how the bridge going over the yard and stuff. I always like that progress you made.
that's gone.
Oh, that's like my favorite part.
F.
My heart.
As much as I wanted to do that, I just couldn't make it work with having a bridge going over the yard. It was kind of a pain. It made it spaced out the tracks further than I wanted. Bunch of TLDR, it just wasn't working.
What a shame.
So I took that out, and the branch just kind of ends about where the bridge began. Although I'm still not sure what I want to do there yet. I might put the bridge back. I literally don't know yet. It's a mess.
But it's your mess.
But it's your mess. I mean, I do
But
like
it's your
Tater's
mess.
layout. Well, how's your thing?
Oh, so go ahead. I'll be sending
My
pictures.
thing, my layout,
Yeah.
my France. I haven't done much to it in the past couple weeks, just because busy.
I saw the picture of like the what do you call it? The wood setup, and then I haven't seen
Oh.
it since. It's just like,
Yeah, the benchwork. I mean, that's about all it is, really. I did get some of those styrofoam grade things from Woodland Scenics,
mhm.
but I have yet to run over to Home Depot to get caulk to glue them down. So, progress is kind of stalled. All's quiet on the Western Front.
Oh man, I've been going hammer time on my layout lately. Like just over the past month, I just got like just basically both big sections done because I do mostly O gauge, so it's like a little 20 by 4 foot layout. It's very thin, but it's long. And I finally, after Christmas, I decided you know what? I've been staring at a half finished layout. I should probably go ahead and get it done. And then once I found myself starting it, I couldn't stop, and eventually I basically got it done in a month.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how
let
it
me
goes sometimes.
Let me see if I can find the photos on here. Scrolling. Actually, I had this prepared before because I'm thinking about all these things now because I came very unprepared for this.
It's okay. We all came in prepared.
So while you look for photos, I'm sending photos of the scenery that I did.
all right.
Ooh,
I've
that
seen it
looks
a
good.
lot on YouTube, and I've been meaning to. That's hot.
Yeah. That's some of the work I've done in the one section. That's a smaller one.
But I've been seeing this a lot on YouTube, and one way to improve like forest scenes. Well, let me back up a bit. If you look at any forest, what do you see on what do you see on the forest floor?
Shrubberies.
Dirt.
A shrubbery.
You,
Styrofoam.
The shrubbery.
Oh wait,
The
wrong
herring.
picture.
Did I hear leaves?
yep.
Depends if you're in a deciduous forest.
Okay, well, deciduous forest then.
We don't.
Anyway.
We don't have those.
Yeah. So. So I saw on YouTube all these like scenery videos and stuff, and one of the main things that kept coming up was putting leaves under the trees. Now, there's a few ways you can do that. One, few companies like sell like a leaf material, but I'm a poor college student. I'm not going to go out and buy leaves. I mean,
that sounds
Imagine
expensive.
having to
Let me buy
leaves.
these leaves.
Let me buy it. I bought a jar of leaves. That is a pickup line right there. Hey baby, I just bought me a jar of HO scale leaves.
You wanna put it on
roll
the bed
around,
and roll around in it?
something.
Want to leave me alone? I'm calling my mother. I'm scared.
Ugh,
anyway,
that'd be a leaf me alone.
I already gave him a point for the bad pun. Don't make me give you one too.
I tried.
Anyway, so what you do with making leaves, I'm a poor college student. I'm not going to go out and buy leaves. So I saw this on I think the January What's Neat. Take a magic bullet, stuff leaves into it, grind them up, and you end up. Let me see if I can find the picture of what
With ground up
I ended
leaves.
up with. Yeah,
Um,
pretty close to. I think they're pretty close to scale. I didn't measure it. It looks good enough.
Well, the ground looks pretty good.
Thank you. But basically, you end up with these. Put them under the fort. Put them under where you want trees. Put the trees in, which using super trees is the way to go. Like the woodland scenics, like the pre-made trees, they look good, but they're way too they're way too full, I guess.
Well, and they're expensive as dicks.
That's everything woven scenics.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, let's see.
Woodland Scenics is not
So-
cheap. Or is it though?
No.
Yeah.
So I
Working at
put the
train
leaf.
shop, you learn that.
Yeah, but put the leaves down, put the trees in, and it looks really good. I need to put more trees in. And I started making trees, but then I had to come back to school. I'm going to do more of a break. But then I started detailing the river scene that's like at the bottom of the hill from where I first did the leaves. And I had all these woodland scenic trees laying around, so I put some of those in there. Put a super tree in there just to kind of change things up. I bought some dried like corn stalks at the train show. So I started to put those in. And I ended up with probably my favorite scene on the layout right now.
Trader has a corn field on his layout.
Two, actually.
Of course.
I need to find like a little combine or something, but those are expensive as dicks.
Yeah.
You know how
Bye.
expensive a dick is?
Yes.
What's up?
I asked Jada if he knows how expensive a dick is. Apparently
Oh.
he knows.
Well, I did.
They are expensive.
I will point out that in the chat, it kind of got buried, but I will quote that you said, it's very thin, but it's long.
Yeah.
So,
Jader, do you have those little Ertl John Deere tractors, or did you ever?
I did, and I don't know what happened to them.
If you can find them, they're close enough to 187th. That especially if you weather them up a little bit, the seat is usually like really ugly plastic, but if you get rid of that, just glue a guy to it, and maybe even sink it into the ground a little bit just to make it appear shorter. Those are pretty good analogs.
I might have to try that.
Some of them are anyway. The scale, I think, varies across them.
Yeah. I don't know. I might have to try that and see if I could find something that would work, because that would really complete the scene there.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. So like, doing that, I ended up with probably my favorite scene on the layout so far. It's really starting to come together. I can't wait to do Craney, which is the main town at the other side of the layout. That is, I'm picturing in my head, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. One of the big things I need to do, though, is add some kind of backdrop. And that's in the works. I've been trying to figure out, do I want to do photo backdrops? Do I want to just paint something? I don't know yet. And then last thing about that, I've been going through and putting in ground throws on all the switches that I have room for. Because when I first started building the layout, I didn't even think to put those in.
Yeah.
But so like some of the switches primarily in the yard, there's just no room for them. But otherwise, there's room for them, and they make it so much better. It's all the little details, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what really sticks out in the end.
Yeah,
Like,
Little things.
we're adding in like people wearing like bears and campers and stuff like that. That's the one photo I shared with the SPSD40 with the campers and stuff right there by trackside. It's all that little stuff that people look for.
I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we still need to finish our middle section. I think we're going to do like a lake or something like that. We're still trying to figure that out. But like up on top of that section there's a substation we did. My dad did like a whole transformer and switching tower for all that. Put lights in it, workers. You got a bucket truck up there that actually has the lights flashing on it and stuff.
One last picture
Cherry
of
picker.
Tater's corn.
Yeah.
And then let's show off some pictures of Warhawk's layout while he talks about it. There we go.
What?
I got him pulled up.
Oh,
Turn
yeah.
over.
What have I been doing? Artwork. I do a lot of artwork. If anyone watching has been paying in this chat. Really, I do artwork. I doodle trains and stuff like that. And it is really kind of exploded, is the best way I could put it, in like the past couple of months.
That's
Because I have
awesome.
like this. Apparently it is. I'm not saying it. I'm not being like, oh, it's not that good. It's like, it was very odd, the story behind all of it. Because I wasn't expecting to get the reception that it got. Because, I mean, everything I do, I should point out, everything I do is hand-drawn. So everything is, all the base sketch stuff like that is hand-drawn, and then it's move over to a computer and colored and digitally and all that. Which, mind you, the program I do use for all this, by the way, is Paint.net.
Yes.
Really
Bang.
basic stuff. Where is it? I'm trying to find the. There it is. This is the one that kind of kick-started all of it once it's actually loaded in. Because it was just one night, I was thinking about doing like this very 80s retro kind of poster with an SPSD40. And I was like, okay, the only way I could do it properly though is if I did it digitally, which I really kind of tried to shy away from, because the ones I have done, they weren't, not that they were poorly received, they weren't like negatively received, but they weren't as well received as my other works. Like no one really cared. And then I did this one night, literally at like 12 o'clock at night because I was bored. Like, let's just do it, whatever. Posted that, and that like exploded. Everyone's like, whoa! I've never seen that before. And it's like, okay. So I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And at the time I was taking a watercolor class in college just because I wanted to experiment with watercolor, and then this kind of took off. So I started to focus on this. And luckily enough, coincidentally enough, actually, my professor used to be a graphic designer. So I showed her my work to see what she thinks. She thought it was just, she's not in the trains, but she saw it and she thought it was just really well done. And then I did a lot of Buffalo related works, and those were shared on like big Buffalo history pages and stuff. And then she started sharing them to her pages. And her friend, who happens to run an art gallery here, then said, oh my God, what is that? That is amazing. I want that. So basically, I was invited to be in art auction.
Thanks, Alice.
So that was, and my piece sold for like $135, which I mean,
Wow.
compared to other pieces of artwork, that's not bad. But underneath the circumstance I was going into, Because mind you, between the time I did this first piece and when I was asked to be in an art auction, took about 3 weeks.
Wow.
Wow.
Just to give you like an idea of how much like that really kind of
Exploded.
Picked
like,
up a bit.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't expecting all the reception that it got. This is the piece that let's see if I can actually upload this. This is the piece that I put in the art auction.
Get the money.
Wow.
Ooh.
Buffalo.
Mind you-
Buffalo.
Mind you, the craft has increased exponentially, as we see here. This is my latest terminal piece. So I'm slowly improving with it, just kind of playing around with new techniques and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for this one?
That is called a bitter cold rivalry.
Okay, because I had an alternate name for it that I just came up with.
What was your alternate name?
Christmas truce.
That's a good one. I actually didn't think about it. It wasn't supposed to be Christmas thing. It was supposed to be Buffalo. So, actually, some guy from like an NMRA magazine chapter in Los Angeles, who's a former editor, actually asked me a couple questions. He's going to write an article about my artwork in their upcoming issue. It's like a small local NMRA chapter magazine, but it's still kind of cool that someone would want to do that.
Especially all the way out from L.A.
My friend.
That's where the art is.
My friend who helps with that Blue Pine Rail, with the guys who are doing that whole excursion with the private car and an Amtrak train out in Galesburg, the fancy one, he commissioned me to do the poster for the advertisement for that. So that was cool. I've had tons of people come and ask me about if I'm doing prints or commissions or all that, which I haven't really decided on yet. I wouldn't mind trying to do prints because there's definitely a market for it that I see.
Mm-hmm.
It's more or less, it comes down to where to do it, distributing it, and how much it's going to cost me in the end.
Yeah. I mean,
Which
you could hold down a booth at the Big E with this stuff. You just
Yeah, you
crank
could.
it out, too. It's impressive.
Because it's not, compared to what I did before in the past, it isn't hard. It's not dumbed down, but it's like, it's a little more simplistic, but the one I'm working on right now, I'm trying to put a little more detail into. This one's going to take a little bit longer, but yeah, no, they don't take me very long at all. Where is it? Oh yeah, just for brick's sake, because I am the brick enthusiast. I did that one recently.
You would love Athens then, because
Thank you.
brick sidewalks and streets everywhere.
Thank you, comrade.
Yes, bricks. All the good bricks.
Bricksburg.
Fresh every day.
It's Lassie.
Yeah, I live that brick life, man. But
I didn't
yeah,
choose
it's
the
just,
brick life. The brick life chose me.
it's really kind of, I wouldn't say it's gotten out of hand yet. I'm not going to sell. I want to sell my stuff eventually. I'm thinking about commissions. Definitely debating it. And also for
I'm
the
liking the SP total 80s thing.
Yeah, that's where it initially started, and that was the first couple of pieces, and then it
I
kind
haven't
of
seen that one before.
Yeah, that's why I got pretty sure it got so much good reception, was because like it's like because I got really obsessed for like a little bit with retrowave. So I was listening to those generic retrowave playlists on
I
YouTube
listen
for
to
like
those
2 hours.
constantly at work. I love those.
I know, I really got into it, and that's what inspired me to do that, because it eventually turned from like a retro style to what people most refer to as more of an Art Deco style. Because you remove those lines, it becomes more of an Art Deco. Like I did to please the standard fans here. I did a GG1.
It's a
I was
good
going to
guy.
say,
The T1 in the background.
especially with the GG1 there.
I mean,
like-
yeah, because it's very
Well, no, it's like I see that, and I immediately think Lionel post-war.
Yeah.
yeah. No, people actually, because you say that now, and I go find my Lionel
I
pieces.
was gonna say should have made it 4840, so it's Big Joe. You need to have a big.
Yeah.
You need to have a
I did
Big
it
Joe
because-
one where it's like King of the Yard or whatever.
I did it because
There's just a bunch of little Joes
I did it because 4859
in fear.
was the one that's on display at Harrisburg, because that is Harrisburg Station.
Gotcha.
So that's why everything I do, there's a reason to why I pick a certain thing or do a certain thing with it. But yeah, and that's another thing too. Another common thing people say is that it looks like old Lionel stuff. So I did do a couple of Lionel pieces. I should really do some more.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what I did in the earlier stuff. But yeah, that initially started out like this big retro 80s thing. And I thought I was going to stick with that. Then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to move more towards the Art Deco stuff. Like, here you go. Here you go, Wyvo, because I know you like DRG dub isms and stuff. There you go.
Dun-dun. Oh,
The
there you
action
go.
road.
That's awesome. The action
That
road.
was like the third one, the second or third one I did. So that was like before I started doing the whole headlight thing, unfortunately, which I could go easily back and add it. It wouldn't be hard for me to do. But that's what just all kind of started out to be. And it's like, you know what? I think because people find their styles and stuff, and I always experiment with tons of different mediums and just like watercolor, for example, just played around to see what I could find. And then the one night where I did, it's like, okay, this is really all on a whim. It's like, okay, I guess we'll try it. And I'm like, oh well, this is me now. This is my life. So
Need to get back into doing oils.
I want to get back into weathering stuff.
I need to get back into writing.
That's a fun one. Yeah,
That's what I've got.
Anything,
Can't draw anything.
that's
I can write it.
that's a good one too.
Yeah, I've got Whiting and I've got digital art.
Come on,
Should
Wybo,
probably
we
do
gotta
more
wrap up
digital.
Firefall.
I hope you're joking.
I'm going to share one more here to wrap it up because I can't go anywhere without spreading the word of backwardsisms.
Yeah.
The bass backwards.
My baby.
The search for Scott.
Backwards are life, dude. It's backwards and no backwards, man. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's recap. If anyone watching, I'm putting a self-plug advertisement sellout plug here.
Oh
If you
boy.
want to see more of my artwork, you can go to follow
All right.
at Jake
All right,
the
Brad.
Train Geek. Follow at Jake the Train Geek on Instagram. You see me spam all my feed with artwork and crap. So you can go like that and stuff. Commission's thinking about it. I'll make an announcement when I do.
Yeah. I'll be sure to hit you up.
Get the money.
I was gonna say I have some ideas.
Well,
Right.
I'm saying this right now. I'm gonna do like friends first.
Mhm.
I do a bunch of them, and then I'll
Oh, I see
do
how
one
it is.
actual public commission.
F.
And don't worry, I'm not going to charge $135 for these. I don't plan on it.
I'll buy you lunch.
Where? When?
Bold.
When is Night at the Railroad Museum?
Oh, you actually going to go this time?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as I find out if I'm doing an internship or not this summer, then I can start planning if I'm gonna go up there, or if I'm gonna go see O'Gilly's for a week, or if I'm gonna go out to Boston
You
or
can see
Providence,
O'Gilly's for a
whatever.
week and come to Boston.
Well, Jelly's
Yeah.
went up to Boston. He was
Big-
looking for some balls to
Big
break.
think.
Yeah.
That is true. Although I want to go back to Utah.
Oh, man.
It exists.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You need to
Have
find
you
that
played-
girl. Let's go find
Yeah.
that girl.
Let's go find that
Yeah.
girl.
Jada, have you been playing a lot of Gmod lately? You were talking about it earlier.
The last time I played Gmod was when you did your Hudson unveiling.
Yeah, because that's what I'm kind of transitioning. I'm trying to make a smooth transition to. Because speaking of Gmod, that's what I've built in Gmod lately, because I haven't built anything in a long-ass time. It's like, you know what? I'm going to build them. I'm going to build it right this time.
Huds.
So, there you go. The beauty. That is the J1E.
Hey.
I have
Yeah,
one of
that
these hanging on
kind
the
of-
wall.
Let's see, what is it? Yeah, that, and
Right.
then your whole unveiling, and your whole unveiling thing kind of inspired me to try to get back into Gmod.
That was all
And-
supposed to be just total bullshit.
I mean-
I'm glad it's actually inspiring somebody because now I'm dead in the water on Gmod again.
And then my main thing, not even main thing, is it that I think it was either you or Adam said about the standard gauge.
Was it
How
Adam's
it's-
knockoff speech of the
Gettysburg-
Gettysburg Address?
Was one of those, but you said how the standard gauge is going to be like a great resurgence in train build, and that's
Okay.
kind of how, like after the speech, that's kind of how it felt.
I didn't think anyone would take. I'm gonna be real. I didn't think anyone would take those words seriously. I kind of pulled it out of my ass. I mean,
That's the thing to admit on a podcast. That definitely nobody there
legitimately mean
watches.
that. I do hope that this new standard gauge will actually get people back into it and start building new things again. I didn't mean it, but at the time, I just kind of that whole speech I gave was just totally winged, and Adam actually wrote a whole thing for it and told me that before. It's like, yeah, I got a whole speech written for him. Like, oh, okay, well, I'm coming in vastly unprepared.
the problem with getting back into Gmod and doing, building the big steam engine specifically, it's not like trains where you get in and you just continue a layout. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm not sure I could get back into Gmod if I wanted to. There's so much of the coding that it's like I got really good at it and have completely forgotten all of it.
Dude, no,
Yeah.
I don't think you drew me that because it's like it's kind of like riding a bike. The most generic expression in the book. Once you like kind of figure it back out again, it's like it just kind of clicked back into place. Like I haven't. This is the first.
It's almost like muscle memory.
I am a skeleton.
I haven't built that engine. I haven't built. It's not. I don't want to lose out of Gmod because Gmod I spent a lot of my time on growing up through high school and stuff because there's, I think that was one of the reasons why that I kept more into Gmod than actual train simulators. So like when you guys talk about Trains 19 stuff, I kind of draw a blank because I've been focusing more on Gmod. Because what's so drawing about Gmod, while it really isn't made for it and kind of can barely handle what we do, but we're getting more optimized with it every day.
Begrudgingly handles it.
Yes, but now with hollow bases and stuff, because we're basically eliminating constraints at this point, it's definitely more optimized where you could do more of the stuff. And I think the big thing is like everything you do, other than making maps, is done in game.
Yeah, but see, because I love that. But to go back to the point of muscle memory and all that kind of stuff, it is muscle memory to an extent, but at the same time, it's not because you're talking about a hollow base. I have no idea what that means. The last time I built a locomotive, it was fairly new to be using hollow props, like to have just the steam engine base and the rods are the only concrete.
Oh, dude,
things
I don't make my wheelbase. I tried once on my SP2, and that went south, and even Seaboard couldn't even figure out what was going on with it. So I mean, that kind of put a bad taste in all the engines I've ever built. I've never built the actual driving wheels themselves. I built everything else except for the driving wheels because I never really knew how to do it.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's held me back from building steam engine mods.
So for this Hudson, are there no constraints in the actual running gear?
The running gear you see and the wheels themselves are hollow. They will move automatically with the ground moves, but there is no physical constraints there to make them move. The only constraints are the support wheels holding it up, and whatever's has the wheels, like has a pilot or the trailing truck connected to it. Same goes for the tender. So basically, the rope from the tender to the engine, the axes and ball sockets for all the trucks and stuff, and that's basically it.
Wow.
We basically eliminated like 100, just about 50 to 100 constraints just by eliminating.
Right. Just because you don't
wheelbases.
have the axes in the running gear.
Yeah, and you don't have
pins.
Exactly. It's super optimized now. Like it was.
See, it's like, how do you even do that? Is it
I
just
don't
an
know.
E2 hollow that
It
speeds
is.
up as it increases? Like,
Yeah, it's.
I
all,
couldn't
it's all
get
a
back
chip.
into it because any of my locomotives, I'd pull them out and try to run them, and people go, delete that, and you're going to crash the server.
Well, if you get to know the right people, you will go around and say, hey, do you think you can hollow base this for me? Just mimic what I did, but hollow it for me. I mean, Seaboard made this wheelbase for me because the reason he wanted me, because he really wanted me to see me build something again. Because in the Gmod community too, there's always a thing called Warhawk speed. I know Jader and Milky are probably familiar with that term.
Mhm.
Yep.
I was known for like busting out a locomotive in like less than a day, where a lot of people would take like a week, and a decent one at that.
I mean,
Now, it obviously slowed down with more priority stuff getting in the way. But like during high school, I could pump out a decent sized locomotive in like less than a day. So it's like, and it's like, if you really wanted to see the resurgence of that, it's like, I'm kind of go back into a hiatus again because the last thing I built before this, and well, another beauty to Gmod now too is that we have the blueprint tool. So now all locomotives we can build to prints and to scale.
I was gonna say I was just gonna say that.
Like
Yeah.
that's
I
why
don't know what this is.
And then
it looks like here. Looks like this.
I'm just continuing to make my point of I would be so fucking clueless if I were to try to go back to Gmod.
Like what I built right before.
Oh, so you're just tracing off of the folio.
Basically. And
Gotcha.
look at the outcomes. I mean, it doesn't look like Gmod. It looks like an actual thing.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's all. I mean, that engine would kill servers. That's also hollow base. That'd kill servers if that wasn't just the sheer size and all the wheels and stuff moving.
105 was great until it derailed on Sunset Gulch and the server died.
Here you boys go. Here you
I
go.
missed the
A little bit
pastry.
of might look familiar there.
I'm on.
What map is this?
This is maps made by my friend Joe. These were Promontory Point, and the ones before were the Hudson were called Iron Siege. They're both Civil War era based maps. So these engines, a little out of place, but the only really big standard gauge maps we have right now. But he's a history teacher actually, and he's really into the Civil War. So he's trying to make these Civil War era maps because you don't see it a lot.
A little Civil War engine might be kind of fun.
Sounded good.
Oh no, we do. I mean, a ton of people. See, that's the thing. Everyone was making 1800s equipment to run with and all that. I was just the one that says, "Nah, I'm gonna build an SP2 because why not?"
It's standard gauge. Railroad is railroad.
Yes, railroad is railroad. It looked so out of place, but man, the outcome is great. Because initially, the first engine I built was this SP2, but this gave us such a problem with the wheelbases that was put on hold. Then I made the cab forward, then 90, then I finished that, and then the Hudson was made, and that contains my standard gauge fleet at the moment. Hey. But I have tons in PHX gauge and stuff like that. But, good times.
I haven't lost so many dupes.
I was scared because my computer's hard drive once shit out on me. We had to get an SSD. I was really scared I was going to lose everything, but luckily I was able to put it in recovery mode and was able to move everything onto a USB and then move it onto the new computer. That scared me a little bit. I
kept backups of Gmod for the longest time, and then the moment that you least expect it and the one moment you're not prepared, then it crashes and deletes everything.
Oh, yeah.
I still have some stuff, but all of it's old.
Because I still have all my old shit, but I need to actually...
Yeah. I have everything.
Most of the stuff I have that survived is like train set era stuff. It's old.
Like, yeah.
When we were first getting into it. Yeah.
Those were the days,
I really wish we get a train.
Friend.
I really hope we at least get a train set, a Track Pack 3 train set.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's my hope. Oh, here you go.
Milky, what the
heck? Talking about Civil War era stuff. There you go. We do have Civil War era equipment.
Oh, that's neat.
I just saw lots of cows.
Oh yes, my quote unquote cow train, I call it. There's a bunch of cows in this cattle area, and you can move them. I was bored.
Oh yeah, that reminds me.
So you've ordered the cows.
I mean, it got pretty extensive. I mean, look at that.
From cow to cow.
From cow to cow. It's like It's like the.
Yeah.
The cow
no.
Oh,
thank you, Milky. Very cool.
Yeah, kind of reminds me
what is cow power though compared to horsepower?
I
don't know.
We figured out we discovered what duck power is compared to horsepower. We converted it, and I think we took like the horsepower for cab forward, which I think was like maybe 5,000 to 6,000 horsepower. I can remember we got like 1.8 million ducks, something like that. We did the mathematical calculations. I can't remember exactly what we did do.
I cringe whenever a steam locomotive is rated in horsepower, but
what do you think it should be rated in? Duck power, I think, is the way to go.
Duck power.
Duck power is the way to go.
Tractive effort, my friend.
This is true. Yeah, no, I can agree with that because I know I say horsepower, but I'm like I always yell at my non-steam friends. Well, they can say horsepower, but tractive effort is where it matters.
Yep.
Okay,
well, tractive effort are constant. Horsepower changes.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody quotes that a cow is 0.8 horsepower and a bull is 1.4 horsepower. I don't know where that comes from. There was also one that is the same amount of sorry, hold on.
It's the same as above plus the superheater percentage?
Force exerted is the same for a draft horse and an ox in this table, which is the closest I think we're going to get, but with a lower speed and lower power. And so it's less horsepower, like 0.57, but a draft horse is only 0.86 horsepower. And then somebody else that says neither a cow nor a bull can produce horsepower because neither are a horse.
All right.
What's your cow to udder ratio?
Yeah.
Speaking of, yeah,
we're probably running a little late.
Well, It's definitely time for.
All right.
In one corner. All right, you guys
this is my.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my thing.
This is your thing.
This is my.
It's your
Why
time
can't-
to shine.
In
My
one
time
corner,
has come.
we have the DT&I Berkshire, allegedly a Berkshire. Can we have the picture, please? Let's.
It's returning. The
okay.
garbage. It lives.
The
Yes,
gab.
sir.
The garbage. It lives.
There's the picture of it.
Thank you.
And here's the picture of Bowie Boy
So there's your DT&I Chonkshire.
going
And
up against
This
TH
is
and Brick.
your THN Bricks.
Yes.
These guys have very similar proportions to
Yeah,
the A1,
yeah.
which is interesting because presumably they're very old Berkshires. So,
Well, I
Jader-
think these are actually based off the Boston Albany Berks.
yeah,
Yeah.
which was A1. That was the original.
Well, no,
Berkshire.
it was after the A1s. I mean, there was another form of Berkshire
Okay.
that came after the A1.
That's fair, but it was a class that was based on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm already seeing a couple of things, but anyway,
Yeah.
so Jader, you're going to be representing the DT&I Berk, right?
Yes, sir.
That's a mistake.
Yeah.
And Warhawk, you're going to be representing.
I mean, I
the
could use the
TH
nickel plate one, but I would probably kick your ass.
Yeah.
TH&B Berk. Yeah, no, I think this is going to be. I don't know
Yeah.
about fair, but closer than that.
Yeah.
One of these
My
things
body is
versus
ready.
possibly the most modern Berkshire made, probably would be a stomp. Maybe if we put two of them together, both of them together, we're on the same team.
Yeah.
We have joined your Berkshire faction. Who's gonna go
Yeah.
first?
I'll
That's
let
actually
Jader go first.
okay.
It's like
seated
entertaining.
together. All right, Mr. DT and I, you're up.
Okay. How many were built?
Well, I think we know who's going to win this one.
Oh boy.
Supposed to answer
ahead.
the question.
Wait.
Go ahead, War.
You
Oh, I thought you were saying, how many, bro? Well, it's a pretty big number. I don't know if you'll be able to handle the magnitude.
Oh boy.
okay? Is it
2.
more than 12? 2?
2.
All right. Well, that's
Well,
unfortunate
then-
for you.
Yeah.
I beat you by a multiple of 3.
Yes, that's
Yes,
maths.
but you see, there were only 2, but I get to hold the title of the only Berkshires ever built in Canada.
We're not
Okay,
there
well,
yet.
Save it.
Oh, okay.
Dial points.
I don't remember the order on this.
All right,
We do stats and then style points.
Yeah, so stats
Okay.
first. Jader won, so he has the metaphorical ball. He's going to be the one asking
Okay.
until you win one.
Okay.
I'm
I'm smart, I promise.
That's okay. It's been a while.
All right. What is... Oh. Really? Okay. What is your loco base ID?
Local base. I'm looking for it.
It's like
I
at the
gotta
very
look for it.
top.
It's the
Oh.
the first one.
Local base ID
Yep.
62.
57.
Ooh.
You never go for that one
I-
unless it's either really low or you're desperate.
Yep.
All right, Jader.
Well, I'm a desperate hoe.
Hoes become human.
Let's see. Who were you built by?
I was built by the Montreal Locomotive Works.
Montreal.
Okay. I'm Lima. Who wins?
This is a very biased question.
I would say
Yeah, it is.
Lima, but if anybody wants to weigh in, Wybold, if you want to weigh in with some actual substance,
Yeah.
For Lima versus Montreal.
yeah.
Well, because Montreal's just Canadian
Lima.
alcohol.
Wait, Montreal's Canadian Alco?
That's basically what Montreal Locomotive Works is Canadian alcohol.
You know what? That's
Yeah, but
True.
syrup, Lima.
true.
Okay.
Corn.
Okay.
Corn
All right.
versus syrup. Corn wins, but corn syrup.
Yes.
uh,
Don't question it.
okay, Jader.
Do not question the corn.
Do not question the core.
Children of the.
Okay. All right. This will probably make or break it.
Oh.
What is your weight on drivers?
Weight on drivers is 249,500 pounds.
Are you serious? Wait, 249?
Yes.
Wow.
Or is
200, 248, 600.
Wow.
Wow.
The-
Jader wins by
Barely.
400 pounds.
I didn't play in this, I swear.
That might be the
Barely.
closest weight we've ever had in locomotive versus.
yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
All right.
Jader, you're up by 4.
Okay.
Wait, isn't it a good thing to have more weight on the drivers?
No.
More tractive effort?
Nope, that's
No.
reflected in
That-
tractive
that-
effort.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what is your tractive effort?
Attractive effort is 76,160 pounds.
What?
No. Yeah, 76,160 pounds.
Okay, fuck.
Oof.
63,240.
Holy crap!
Ooh.
God damn it.
That's a discrepancy. Alright,
Yeah,
Warhawk,
forgot.
power weight ratio.
Warhawk, you're
Power
up.
weight ratio.
All right. What is your factor of adhesion?
Oh boy.
Similar drivers.
3.93.
3.28.
Ouch, that's
Oof.
bad.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or hot,
Closer to
but the
4 is
closer
better.
to 4. Yeah.
Mm.
Where's that engine Dean found? It's
Well,
like
Jader.
8 point something.
England.
Well, Jader, you're back.
Okay. Alright. What is your engine weight?
Engine weight. Engine weight is 383,000 pounds.
Shit. Okay, 411,500.
Oh, what a chonker.
Yeah, I put out more attractive effort.
Yeah. You're
Hmm.
also up.
All right. What is? Where is? What is your boiler pressure?
250.
240.
What?
Ooh.
Whack.
Yeah.
Where is your
240.
attractive effort coming from? Alright, Jader.
It's all the Canadian.
It's all the maple syrup they inject into the firebox.
No. He has bricks in his
It's
firebox.
like bullfrog snot.
Yeah.
Stick the maple syrup to the wheels. Alright, Jader.
Okay.
It's 6 to 2,
Um,
much like your
Losing garbage.
Survival
locomotives.
weight.
How about okay? Let's do fuel capacity, water, and coal.
Okay,
can
fuel
only
capacity
do
water.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's words. Let's do water. How much
Water.
water can you carry?
12,000 gallons.
12,000. Wow.
It's a
22.
small tender.
22.
You see a tender, you gotta.
22,000?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's an easy one. Look at them.
No, 22 gallons.
22
Well, I
yeah.
was thinking 2,200 for a second, and I was like, that's
No, no,
outrageously small.
The tenders are similar size. I thought you had a much bigger
22
tender.
gallons.
That looks like your
He's
standard.
got like a
bird
bucket. This is a bucket.
It's actually
Yeah.
a thing of 1 gallon jugs that they keep in the cab.
Just linked together with like bendy straws.
Oh, no, you pour them in
Yeah.
individually.
Oh, gotcha.
You
Alright,
gotta keep your firemen on his toes.
Jader.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not looking good for Canada, boys. Not going home with gold. Unless
What
they
is
make a comeback.
your? Okay. Oh no! Wait, you won that. Well, yeah. What's your? Oh wait, no. How much coal can you carry?
How much coal can you carry? Tender fuel capacity, oils, coal. I can carry about. Let's say about 16 tons. No, that's not right.
What do you get?
What do you get?
Yeah, looks like it says oil slash
You
coal
get-
gallons slash tons, 16 tons.
You get your ass kicked.
Oh,
22.
Yeah.
22
Ooh.
again.
Again, I'm looking at the tender. I'm not surprised.
Man, Jader, if you keep this thing up, you gotta be careful. If he thinks Canada's gonna lose, he'll just go burn down the White House again.
Yeah.
War of 1812 joke? No?
Hot,
Okay.
hot. I was gonna say
No,
hot War of 1812 joke. Okay.
Wait. No, I have to win now, or else I get burned down. Buffalo's burned down in where 1812.
Just to clarify, NSA, that wasn't an actual burning down the White House joke.
It's too late. You're on the list.
Oh, well.
We're all on the list.
They work for the NSA. You really think they know about the War of 1812?
I mean, if they're appointees of this administration, probably not.
Yeah.
Oof.
What did you?
No, I actually had someone ask me if the War of 1812 was for our independence.
Bruh.
When was the
Straight
War
up.
of 1812
Well,
fought?
Straight up. No, that's what she asked me. Yes, if it was a fought for our independence.
it was for your independence from the United States. If the war had gone differently, we might be living in a different
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway, Jader, continue the massacre of Canada. This
Alright.
is revenge.
This is a Canadian genocide right here.
Revenge.
All right, what is
This is
your
revenge. Revenge for what?
1812!
What did we- I mean,
Did we lose? I don't remember.
No, it's revenge for the royal auction.
Who won
Oh,
the War
that's-
of 1812?
I feel like nobody really won. It's sort of a Vietnam.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny. Say, why do we do this again?
Although even less so because the North Vietnamese won Vietnam.
Well,
Yeah, really.
it's very similar in that America didn't get anything it wanted, but they really didn't lose anything either.
Yeah,
That's-
so it's just kind of
yeah.
happened.
Except for the White
It's
House.
kind of there.
But, we,
Well,
We
know,
can rebuild it stronger, better, faster.
yeah.
orange.
We
Okay.
have the technology.
Alright, Jader.
what are your cylinder dimensions?
Cylinder dimensions. Where? Find that now.
High pressure cylinders.
Okay,
It's
high
in,
pressure
it's in
cylinders.
retractive effort and all that.
20 inches by 30 inches.
25 by 30.
Wow.
Very close.
And again, I question,
Yeah.
where is this tractive effort coming from?
It's all them extra just maple syrup they throw in the firebox, man, and give it a little bit extra go-go
Alright,
juice.
Jader, you're 25 by 30, and he was 20 by 30?
28 by 30.
28 by 30, oh, okay.
Wait a minute. Wait,
What?
you're 28. Wait, you win that thing.
Yeah, he does win that.
What the fuck?
I misheard him.
It's Canadian. They have Moosepower rather than horsepower. Slightly more.
Whose
Yeah.
power is 1 point... Alright.
All right. What
Conversion
is
from horse
what is your firebox area?
to moose power.
394 square feet.
338 square feet.
How? Fuck. What is your tractive effort coming from? Seriously.
It's probably just a more efficient design. I don't know.
Alright,
If I
Jader
can
is up
find-
9 to 3.
I need drawings for these.
Yeah.
There are no drawings for you. That's the problem.
For the record,
I
one
can't
moose
find
power
any.
is 3.27 horsepower.
See?
All right. What is your great air?
Great area. 100.3 square feet.
That might be where it's coming from. 88.3.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a difference.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right. What is your superheating surface?
1795.
2242.
Yep,
Ooh.
that's where it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's all in the firebox, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
continue.
Oh man, I gotta keep this going. I gotta think.
You gotta keep it
Yeah.
going.
I'm trying to think of it.
How long can you last?
Race or base for loading. Back loading there. Trying to think here. What is your great area? Oh wait, we already did that. No, sorry. What is your combined heating surface?
Ooh.
6316.
7322.
Okay, this
God
thing can make
damn it.
steam.
Yeah. Maybe.
Alright, Orog, it is 6 to 9.
Nice.
I'm gonna. Okay. What is your evaporating heating surface?
Evaporative
Are you
heating
talking, is it
surface.
evaporative heating surface or evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume? Which one do you want?
It's just evaporated heating surface.
Okay.
Oh, okay. 4521.
5080.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Alright.
All right.
Now what is your evaporating heating surface divided by cylinder volume?
265.25.
237.6. So you did beat me there.
Sometimes
Dang.
that'll... But that's because his cylinder's so much
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah.
All
Okay. Well,
right.
Jader, it is 10 to 7. We're 3 points away from being able to go to style points, but we don't have to, of course.
Okay. What haven't I won yet? What haven't we asked yet?
terrible words.
What is your driver diameter?
My driver diameter is 63 inches.
God damn it. 63.
You could have looked at them.
You could have.
Yeah. Big brain.
They're definitely the same. All right, Warhawk, it's yours now.
Okay.
I may be an engineer, but I'm not smart.
Well,
What is your minimum weight? What is the minimum weight of rail?
ooh,
Ooh.
Every time I look at somebody,
getting
I'm
smart.
like, we might be engineers, but
Big words here.
okay.
104.
Same.
Really?
What?
All right, Jader.
Okay.
Okay.
These are more similar than I thought they would be.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, the design was a mixture of base of lime and alco kind of mixed together.
Yeah.
They're close cousins to the CNW and Erie Burks.
Mm-hmm.
The best way to describe it.
Okay.
If it was,
What is the...
what you got,
Fuck.
Jader?
Overall wheelbase.
Thinking emoji.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
All I think we really have left
Oh, boy.
is Robert Lamessina's power computation.
Da, da, da,
Da,
da.
da, da.
All right. What is
Mine is 22,075.
What was the one?
Robert Lamessina's power computation?
Wait, hang on. Power computation? Wait, hang on.
Towards the bottom.
Oh, okay. Oh, power. 24,072.
Well, goodbye, me. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. You're 2 points behind Warhawk.
Oh man. Same as above plus superheater percentage.
Ooh.
28,256.
31,534.
All right. It is 10-9.
Yeah. Mama.
Same as above, but substitute firebox area for great area.
Ooh.
Oof.
126.80.
On 1,267. Only 106,267.
Nutty.
What?
Jader was a 1 to 26.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Didn't expect that.
Was still putting out more power? Well,
Okay.
he's-
It's a large difference.
All right, Jader. It's 11 to 9.
Oh god, are these fucking close? Oh, it's really
Okay.
close.
Power. No.
Power!
No.
What are your road numbers?
Okay. Yeah. What's your valve gear?
My valve gear is I have Baker.
Ooh.
I have
that.
Volters.
And mistakes were made.
Fuck.
Yeah. Baker wins.
Baker wins.
11-10,
It is
right?
10. Yep.
Bo Baker.
You get
All right.
the ball
Oh
back.
boy.
That
Where's
was
your power? Where's your power L1?
Oh no.
that was a move, Jader.
It was a choice.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made.
Something so
Jader, the power
controversial, so
L1. What
great.
is it?
Okay. 34,877.
31,762.
Okay, Jader wins.
Wait, what? Huh?
Uh,
12-10, man. There's still a couple
All right.
things left here. We can.
Jader is up 12 to 10. He
All
could
right,
just take
power-
his style points if he wanted to. But
That's it. All right, this will be the last one before we go to style points.
he says,
Power MT.
1,122.62.
100. Let's see. 1,1237.18.
Wait,
12,
37.18. Wait, hang on. You mean a
Yeah.
1200?
1237. Yeah,
Okay.
1200.
Okay.
Did I say
one-
1,200?
You said
Yeah, you
1,000,
said-
1,200.
Yeah. Like what?
It's been a long day.
Bonds.
It's
Strong.
been a long day. All right,
All
well,
right.
it's 13 to 10. Jader's in control.
Let's go to style points.
All right, style points. One for the DT and Iberk. It's got an all-weather cab.
Yeah.
The first thing that I noticed.
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at a walkthrough of the THME, and one of these Berkshires was equipped with automatic train control, or actually they both were equipped with automatic train control to permit operation and lead precision over near central lines east of Welland, Ontario.
Can I actually mention something here too?
Sure.
These engines were known as the top seniority engines on the TH&B. They were the heaviest, they're the biggest out of everything on the TH&B roster. I don't know if that means...
I don't know what that
anything.
says about the THB, though. Is actually the takeaway there.
It's more or less. You know you're on top in the engineer and fireman food chain if you are at the controls of these.
Okay, well, what do you guys think? You think that's valid style point? That they were the number one engine on the railroad? I think it's a pretty good style point.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Because they
Yeah,
had this, they had Hudsons, they had ex-New Central Hudsons, they had some Pacifics. There's still a 280 around. They had a lot of 060s, etc. But these were, you knew you're on top if you were in control of these.
Yeah.
Both at a head-end throttle. I am seeing a lot more sand capacity and stuff on the DT and Iberk.
Yeah.
Can I get a style point for Henry Fordisms and having all the logo on the tender and then the number on the side of the cab they were nickel, like actual, like cast, I guess.
Be plated.
Thank you. 3D.
Did the DT and I
3D.
run to another country though?
This is
Where they
No.
crossed?
That's fair.
The THB did because while they had no trackage itself in the Buffalo, it's in the name. They had trackage rights to the NYC, to Frontier Yard and Buffalo Terminal.
Yeah, so these engines cross between countries.
Yes.
The TX and Burt, or the TX and the Burks were also the only Burks in Canada.
Exactly. Yep. Only
That's
two
fair.
were built, the only Burks ever built in that country.
That is
Canada.
interesting, is what it is. It's kind of weird to think about that. That's like,
Yeah.
I feel like Canada would love big steam.
Well, here's the
for
thing.
Transcontinental.
They do.
I had a story. I
they
was
need
thinking
bigger.
if I can mention this little story too, the TH&B has a very bad track record of really depressing preservation history. They wanted to preserve one of these engines. They wanted to preserve 201 because of these other two built, 201, 202.
Yeah.
And they wanted to save 201. In the museum they gave it to, it's like, oh, you have this big engine. It's one of two built in this entire country. We're going to give it to you. And I forget what museum it was. Exactly. They gave it to them. And they're like, yeah, we're going to give this to you because it's kind of a neat little niche of Canadian railroad history. And they're like, oh, that's cool, but nah, we'll take your headlight and number boards, though, and builder's plate. So they did, and then the rest of it was cut up.
All right, so how many points do we knock off for that? Did I say 5, 10?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't know if that's a style
I'm kidding.
point thing, but
No, that's a non-style point.
Yeah, that is not a style point.
Talk about some noisy box cars here too. Similar, they were going to save TH&B 71, which is a Jeep 7. It was the first GMD product built in Canada, the very first GMD thing built there, and they wanted to save that, but that hit a tanker truck, burned to a crisp.
All right, I'm seeing 2 cross compounds on both. It looks like the DT&I has a re-railing frog hanging off.
Warhawk actually has
The TH&B does as well.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it.
THMB guy has steps leading up to his pilots compared to Trader where you just kind of hop on.
I also have parts
Jader
of
has
own-
steps. Jader has steps.
He doesn't have
I have
steps onto the pilot, though.
I have
He only
parts
has-
and components
what do you mean onto
with
the
the Boston
pilot?
Albany, if that means
got-
anything.
No, like on the front side of the pilot.
Yeah, there are 2
Like
steps.
Oh,
Like it's got
Yeah.
it's got a tender step on the pilot.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hang on. I can give you a better
That's
angle of
safety
it.
I'm trying to figure out how you get on the. I'm trying to figure out how you get on Jader's engine.
Well,
You
there's
just
steps in the front.
kind of
Well, it's got a switchboard.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's got switcher boards, but speaking from
And-
experience, that's a pain in the ass enough on a narrow
Yeah.
gauge engine to sling myself up over the pilot beam, and I have long ass legs.
Yeah.
Getting
hear
up
that.
from that switching board onto the pilot, especially over that massive ass cut lever, ugh.
He could jump.
yeah.
He could jump, yes.
Safety
What else have
first.
we got? I mean, they look-
Parts and components could be shared with engines similar on if they want to with the Boston Albany because it's the same type of tender they use in the B&A.
Okay.
Similar boilers, similar parts, etc. Because it was a New York Central subsidiary.
I don't know.
It has relations with the
Subsidiary. And as well,
Is DTI also a subsidiary though? Someone?
Technically,
yes.
I think it was a subsidiary of the
Subsidiary.
Tenzin at one point. Thanks. Words are hard.
Well,
I think it was a subsidiary of the Pepsi.
What part specifically?
maybe the tender is the best way to be out because that is a Boston Albany design.
A tender is a
You could-
tender.
you could
That's
rotate.
I don't.
Tender.
Tender-
I don't feel like giving that as a style
Okay,
point.
here you
Were
go.
you about to say tender is tender? God damn it.
Okay, what?
I
here's
would
the thing,
say
though.
that.
Did the DT9 Berks only freight or they mix traffic?
That's a good. Well, let's.
The H&B pull
here.
passenger trains too.
Ooh.
They can get
I
up to
wanna say
65 miles an hour.
I'd imagine mixed traffic.
And I do have footage of these engines.
Okay,
pull
but here's the
passenger.
important question: do both of you have train line steam? If the
That
DT9,
is-
if the TH&B thing pulled passenger trains, it almost certainly did.
Had
I-
trainline steam
I don't
and signal
see-
air probably.
I don't
Yeah.
see it.
So
Yeah,
that's a point
I'd
for
assume
the
so.
TH&B thing. The other
yeah.
thing is,
I'd say.
I'm looking at these guys. Did either of you have a booster?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a booster in the back there.
Did I?
Because again, that's also similar to New York Central designs with the booster on the Hudson. So I'm going to say it's a booster.
I'm seeing a steam pipe for Jader as well, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm seeing a booster on both of them.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. All right, what
I don't
else have
see
we got?
anything about.
It's 16 to
I don't see
16.
anything about passenger trains.
But
The
I
only
feel bad for the poor crew that has to hub these fucking things.
the only engines in Canada that drawed more drawbar horsepower. I know horsepower, but just is an interesting fact. The only engines that are capable of doing it were the CP's 484s. So these are technically like the second strongest engines in Canada.
Oh, they got these Selkirks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess they have more drawbar. They have more drawbar horsepower.
Ah.
There's by only 65% cut off. The tractive effort was still a healthy 69.
I feel like we already gave a point for this being top dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
in some
I'm not giving it
capacity.
another point
That
for
is
being
true.
the second best engine in Canada. I'm
That
not
is
doing
true.
Alright.
That's fair. It has a cool nickname, the Bricks. I'm pulling something out of my ass here.
It is 16-16. Can anyone get a
Can we get
legitimate
a style
style
point
point?
for Henry Ford?
Hang on, I'm looking. I need to pull up pictures that aren't.
Henry
Didn't
Ford
he
was
always-
also kind of a Nazi.
THD.
Can I get a
Hey,
style
he's not
point?
wrong, but it
What's
was
the other
in
one?
vogue.
DT and I.
Yeah, DT and I.
I didn't realize. I
Specific.
didn't think it was going to be this close. I was kind of half paying attention throughout the fighting.
I mean, we have one Berkshire that isn't very good, and then another Berkshire that isn't very good. So,
I mean, can you be saying not having a reputation for garbage count?
not having a what now?
What?
Reputation for being kind of garbage?
No. It is.
Wow.
Listen, while the DT9 thing has a reputation for being kind of garbage on the show, the fact that you struggle to get as many points as it doesn't bode
Yeah.
well for
Yeah.
you.
That is true.
Yeah.
But you gotta also
The fact that it led into style points.
Yeah.
Is it leading in style points? Well, you gotta think too. While he might have all these bigger things, like he has like a better high pressure still and all that, I'm still being more efficient by putting out more tractive effort and stuff like that.
Yes, you got to
Even
put
with
reason.
having, even with
Yeah.
losing those numbers, I'm still getting, in terms of actual like build quality here, I'm still putting out somewhat better numbers.
The
in
reason we
output.
do them all as separate stats is to kind of compensate for that.
Yes.
the being
Because
lighter and stuff like that.
There is also a time and a place where, probably not with these engines, but if you're stuck on a grade, whoever has the bigger, the actual area of the piston and the higher boiler pressure wins, because at the end of the day, you can move more shit up the hill.
Yes, that is true. Because I
You
don't.
can-
For THEB, for the most part, it was mostly flat, a little hilly, but nothing crazy. It was Southern Ontario,
It
so
was a subsidiary of the New York Central. If they had bought something with a hill on it,
Right.
they would have panicked.
They,
Yeah.
they wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
well, actually,
That's how the Berkshires
CP
came to
had a
exist.
hand in it. 2, they had like a 30% share, I believe. So it was like a joint venture almost between the two in a sense.
At least it wasn't.
There aren't a lot of pictures of these things.
There
Of
really
what?
aren't.
The TH&B or the
The
DTI?
TH and B engines.
Yeah,
I would
there's,
not be
again, there's
unhappy
only
leaving it 1616. These two were made for each other.
again it was
wait.
there were only 2 of them ever built on a very smaller-ish line.
I
Oh.
have one. Can this be a style point?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
There are Mikados that look vaguely, not even
God damn it!
pretty damn similar to these things.
And also suck.
No. How about no?
Does the DT9
Is there-
thing have a duplex stoker?
Yes, almost certainly.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
I have no idea what that means.
Is there any footage of the DT&I engines out there publicly?
Are
Probably
there
not.
trains models?
I
Are there regular
I have-
models?
Are there Gary's mod models?
I have actual footage of these engines running at speed and doing switching.
Nice.
I mean, that's cool.
Is that a style point? I mean, photo famous,
There are physical models of the
very
T-
photogenic.
There
There
are
are
physical
models.
models of the TH&B Burke, you said?
They are.
Brass,
There
yeah.
are models of both of them.
Okay.
Brass models
Style
of these?
points are more expensive.
Or,
This is watching two nerds fight. Like,
I'm trying.
Yeah.
This is
nobody's
watching
gonna...
This is watching
I
two
didn't think it'd be
old
this
crippled
close.
men fight, like reaching across their walkers
Yeah.
and not quite being able to
This
reach
is
one
this
of the...
this is the Pensy New York Central debate in a nutshell, right?
No,
Trying to get that one little edge
because
over
that
there.
has merit. These
Uh-oh.
both suck.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, these.
You said that, it's like, oh boy, here he goes.
My pride.
Question for the TH and B engine, and I'm not sure you're going to be able to answer it. It's just morbid curiosity. What's with the tumor immediately ahead of the cab that leads up to your turret?
That was I forget what that exactly is called, but again, that's that the Hudson. It's a very similar boiler design to the Hudson. A lot of New York Central engines.
Well, that's
did that
not
too.
anything to do with your boiler design.
Well,
That's
no,
just-
that's not what it was. But it was a common thing that the Central did, especially with their Hudsons, for example. So they
Hang on, let me look up and see if a Hudson has it.
It does,
I've never,
usually.
It does.
I've never noticed that.
Yeah, no, I forget what it's called. I was talking about this the other day. Exactly.
I'm tempted to not like that,
Well,
quite frankly.
the reason that it
'Cause it makes-
existed is it's that's where the shroud would end. That's where the streamlining would end.
Yeah.
That existed on the J1Es though. I mean, that was a thing.
The reason it exists is to cover the supply lines for both the injectors and it looks like also the booster.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm tempted to dislike it. It looks shiny, but for a fitter, that's a pain in the ass.
Bibles in full force today.
Angry.
Well, no, that's not even. I'm not even going after it as a point. I'm just looking at these, kind of going. They're both incredibly generic. I'm not very predisposed to Burks in the first place. The
I just like
TH&B engine has better tender trucks.
I like them because of how
So is that
Like,
a point? We're gonna give the
it's
point
kind
for
of a-
tender trucks.
No.
Can we get style points for
I'm
better
with
paint
you. I'm
job?
kind of happy just leaving it as a tie.
How about style points for better paint job with white trim?
No.
I do actually like their paint job.
Points.
I like.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I think we've given
We definitely
given
have.
points for that
We 100%
before.
have.
Yeah,
So
we have.
we probably should honor that.
Yeah.
But
Ooh, and
but
it had a gray jacket.
Boss.
That looks nice.
One of them did. I think it was maybe for when they were first built. There was like a photo
Yeah.
thing. They didn't last.
It was given
long.
a gray jacket and gray cylinder jackets, but for some
Yeah.
reason the weird injector line shroud is still black.
they were #they were gray.
They were great.
I think in the photo we sent. No, I think it's still black because of the lighting. But the one that Milky sent looks like it might have had it in this photo because how light it is on the boiler jacketing there.
Yeah. Maybe.
I like the
It's hard to
cute
tell.
little- I like the cute little ladder that the DT&I engine has in the front
Yeah.
of the tender, like on the tank leg.
Mhm.
That's kind of
I
cute.
think it's a style point though.
No,
No, I'm looking for, quite frankly, just differences at this point.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I
corporate
think
needs you to find the difference between these two photos. They're the same photo.
but again, these engines are heavily based on a mixture of Alco and Lima, so there's
and
a lot of
dumpster
design
that
cues.
they found behind the Walmart.
Yeah.
No, these engines are actually good though.
No, see,
Okay.
There-
Okay.
no,
Hold on.
no,
Hold
no,
on.
no.
Stop.
Oh, okay.
He said that. Next time you come on, will put one of these engines against a real locomotive.
Like a Rio Grande Northern or Rio Grande Mountain.
I'd rather not die.
No, you don't have to be part of it. You're not the one that
I
said
like them a lot because it's a very niche little thing that not a lot of people know about. Again, there's
Niche.
niche. They are because there's only 2 of them ever made. I mean, you show someone
Rick said me and Skookum.
All right.
You know, it's
So-
like again, there's only 2 of them ever made, and not a lot of people really know about them.
The THMV thing wins by a point.
Yes, I don't care. Win's a win.
And I'm going to
Queen or
vote for
dirty,
the
it's a
other
win.
thing.
Fine.
Win is win.
What are you
Don't
guys
like
voting
either
for?
of these.
I don't like
At
them
least
either.
we're not Detroit.
Can I just?
You know what? You get a point for that. TH and B for me.
Fine.
All right,
Can I
Milky.
just say though, like before, like we vote and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of feel there's like different tiers almost, of, at least 2 different tiers of Berkshires. Because you have these, and
Yeah.
then you have the Berks that kind of unknown. They're just kind of there, not the greatest.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then you have like 765 and shit like that.
All
Yeah,
the
they're like-
copies of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like the poster child for superpower and all that kind of stuff.
And
Berkshires and all that.
and basically the same after 1940.
I have a corollary to this, or an add-on to this. There are 3 categories of Berkshires. There are the good ones, so the nickel plate and the CNO and those derivatives. There are the cool ones, which are the original
The B&M
B&A
engines.
Berkshires, the B&M ones with the hoodie, and then
But those
there
are
are
actually garbage,
these guys.
But the B&M was actually garbage, though. That's the problem.
They weren't garbage when we converted them to oil. they did well on the flat. Yeah.
All right, well, Milky, it comes down to you.
It doesn't, though. It's a pity vote at this point.
No, I voted for the.
I came out here to have a good time talking about engines, and instead I'm being personally attacked.
That's how this works.
You know what? I have an emote for this.
Oh, he's
Keep
gonna
it
Did
Great.
you vote for the Canadian thing?
No, I voted for the DT&I thing.
Yay, pity vote.
PH and Brooks.
Dun-dun.
All right,
Okay.
cool. That was fun.
That was fun.
So
Yeah.
the TH and B by the points, DT and I by the votes.
You know what? Actually, I found it. It's the
You
good,
know what?
It's the good, the
I want-
bad, and the ugly. They're the good Berkshires, the bad Berkshires.
I thought that's
They're
where
not
you were
even
going
ugly.
with
They're
it.
pretty. They're not even ugly, though.
Well, the ugly
They
ones
are,
good.
though.
They're not.
Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
Well, okay. I just want to add this one thing. I know the voting's over, but I always
Don't
Did
you
we
say
get
it. I can hear you giggling.
did the DT and I Berks get a book written about them with a cool title.
Uh,
I don't know.
uh,
Because
could
there was a
almost say
book.
that-
There is a book out there about TH&B Berks called "In the Shadows of Giants."
Well, congratulations. There's a book out there of the OG Berks as well.
And the K first.
Superpower. It's sitting on my coffee table.
It's a great book.
I'm just
Anyway.
saying there's a book taking that specific little engine thing.
Okay, I'm gonna
Counts.
make a meme later. I think I have to,
No.
and it's gonna be the meme with Kermit looking at the Kermit
Yeah.
in the hoodie, and the Kermit
Yeah.
is gonna be like every other Berkshire, and then the Darth Kermit is gonna be the B&M.
Yeah.
Darth Kermit.
If I
Gotta
ever
get
told
Kermit,
you
dude.
the tragedy of Dark Kermit the Wise.
How are we doing for time?
Let's get some news done. Oh, speaking of things,
Okay.
so you guys can go into news, and I'm gonna go promote somebody.
Okay.
Okay, so
Oh God.
the Pacific Coast region of the MMRA is holding a convention in Concord, California in April to May. April 3rd to May 3rd, 2020. And there's going to be a whole bunch of layout tours. They're going to have a tour of the Western Railway Museum. It's pretty cool.
Will Skookum be
I-
involved?
Sconce.
I don't know, actually.
Please. Keep
I don't
scooping.
think...
Such
I don't
a
know.
for locomotive.
Shut up.
Also, I discovered something
You-
recently.
you know
There's
what's
a
a good name
subreddit
for a
called r/Skookum.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
that exists.
I was gonna say, you know what's a dumb name for a locomotive? Actually, I can't. I was gonna say it, but I don't want to piss you off.
Say it. Do it.
The green
Oh,
engine.
and
I was
also,
gonna say, you know what's a dumb name? Peaches.
yeah.
You have been
I'll
banned.
remember that.
You have been banned from the Colorado Railroad Museum.
No. I will remember that.
Yeah, you get the little pop-up.
Clementine remembered that.
Hey, Jader.
Weibold hated that.
Yeah.
Forgetting.
Forget.
Nah. Can I take that back? I love peaches.
No.
Nope. Too late.
And they also have a tour of the Society for the Preservation of Carter Railroad Resources, which rebuilds old Carter passenger cars. So that's cool. Yeah. And it's usually not open to the public. Yeah. Plus they're doing the outdoors, which is just cool. Yeah. Quite honestly, if Colorado falls through, I might be doing that. Speaking of Colorado,
Uh-oh.
Salty Papas has been hard at work on White Pass 61.
Daddy Papas.
He's been,
Stathios.
Statios.
yeah.
Alexios.
That's his name. Don't make fun of him.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Yeah,
F. Stathios Papa Yorgis Papas.
yeah,
I think I got that right.
yeah, you did. But anyways, at work, with 61. Great. It's like a one piece at a time progress.
Did it cost you a dime?
Or in the cost
Bobby.
of...
Yeah.
In the case of those cylinders, about 100 pieces at a time. Why would you just
Yeah.
make new ones?
Yeah.
Stathi's art project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about things that are in more pieces than they should, though, I have a little bit more of a serious note. They should be.
Oh.
I was hoping this was a 1309 joke.
Unfortunately, no. This is a Hoosick
The
Tunnel joke.
Hoosick Tunnel.
F.
The Hoosick Tunnel suffered a collapse on the west side, which is the brick-lined side,
Yep.
with the granite entrance. And it's not awful, but it's not good. They say they wouldn't classify it as a collapse of the structure, more of a washout within the tunnel. Part of the brick wall gave way, and some of the loose rock and clay that makes up that side of the mountain intruded onto the tunnel. They don't know how long it's going to be until they can reopen it. Some people have called for daylighting the first 300 feet of the tunnel there, which is where the collapse occurred. Which would be unfortunate. The residents of Adams don't like that because it would destroy the granite facade on that end. Unfortunately, the granite facade is currently covered by a big metal door, so it's not like they're really losing much that you can see on a daily basis, but it would be unfortunate. The Pan Am traffic has been routed through Vermont, over the Vermont Railway and the Rutland Railway. The Norfolk Southern traffic was originally going to be routed through, or over the B&A, via the State Line Tunnel and CSX, but CSX apparently didn't want to play ball. So the NS traffic is being terminated at Mechanicsville and loaded onto trucks to get sent east.
Oof.
Oof.
So that's unfortunate for everybody using the Mass Pike.
Shame.
So, yeah, that's my unfortunate infrastructure news. I have actually good infrastructure news, though, for once. What is the thing I always harp on about that you guys know? The Hudson Tunnels. Now,
More tunnels.
Okay, you didn't leave enough time there for us to come up with some sarcasm.
Yeah,
More
right.
tunnels.
I wasn't going to. I had no plans to do that. But despite the fact that I have two articles here that tell opposite stories, because such is life. One is that the federal government has basically said, no, this is a very low priority, you're not getting money for it right now. And the other one is Amtrak saying, well, we're going to work on it right now. So they're beginning major repairs on the tunnels, presumably because they have no other choice. Officials say they can no longer wait for new tunnels to be built, the work has to be done right now. I don't know what impact that's going to have with the many, many, many people that commute from New York to New Jersey or vice versa. But, needless to say, the Northeast Corridor might get a little bit more congested around New York City because of this. So, yeah. they're having to start work. Their hand has been forced, and
Haven't they been working on it though?
I mean, yes,
it sounds
and
familiar.
no.
Like it sounds like a familiar story because I remember them talking about how they wanted to fix them up a while ago.
I mean, they've wanted to, but the thing is,
It's kind of needed repairs since like 1983.
Yeah.
well,
But-
it's needed
I mean,
repairs,
it's like-
especially since 2012, because that was the first time that the tunnels had ever flooded
Right.
during Hurricane Sandy. And
Yes, that's what I remember hearing because my dad was out working New York City for the storm.
yeah, and Amtrak has basically been saying, Amtrak and the state of New York and New Jersey and everybody has been saying, hey, these are necessary, they're necessary. And for a while there was a pipeline of funding that was supposed to be set up, and then it's just been delayed and delayed and delayed. They were going to build, still are going to someday, build a new pair of tunnels, and then when those are done, they were going to shut down the original pair or alternate it. Shut down one at a time for that. So that they could make the necessary repairs. The thing is, the new tunnels have not been built. They haven't been started, really. And that means Amtrak is basically having to cut service or hurt service so that they can get repair work done, because it can't wait any longer.
Yeah.
So, that's where we're at. Which is really a shame.
Yeah. You know what else is the same?
What?
Big concrete hurt chargers.
What? Oh, that's right.
Okay, so a crew, a cement truck wound up on an Amtrak, or wound up on track, near Sparks, Nevada, and unfortunately, the test train for the Chargers on the California Zephyr crashed into said cement truck.
Yeah.
For shame.
This
So,
is how the news
big
stories
concrete. Yeah.
The news stories went, look, the Charger test train is leaving Chicago.
Yeah.
How cool is that? And then I just get sent a picture of the Charger with a smashed up
Hell
front
yeah.
end. All right.
Oops.
That was short-lived.
Speaking of
Yeah.
Amtrak, some lighter news, they recently sent out the new Acela to Colorado in
Yeah.
Pueblo for testing.
Hey.
I'm gonna be real. I'm not. That was recently moved out. That was one of the few rare times actually that was seen here on NS, which is kind of neat little fact. 'Cause the last time I think we've seen Amtrak on NS was when they finished the new Portridge Bridge in Letchworth State Park, where they ran like a private car special.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of neat. Seeing there's big news coverage about it going by and stuff. It's like, oh, there goes the future going by, and it said it was being tested. It was doing like 100 miles an hour through Buffalo as it was being towed, according to news.
Such an ugly thing.
It is.
It is. You want to know
Unfortunate.
something interesting though? I pointed out because we were talking about drag queens.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Look at this, okay? What is wrong with this picture that you see here?
Oh god, I think I already know what it's going to be. It's going to be a little edge
Yeah.
sticking out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Why?
what it is.
Why is the engine not flush with the cars? If you want to test for aerodynamics, and high speed, when you want something like that, it's normally one big smooth continuous shape.
It's like
It isn't much,
Even
but on both sides, going over 100 miles an hour, that's going to make a difference.
it does a couple of things. For one, it increases your drag, obviously. For another,
Yeah.
it increases the noise substantially in that
Yes.
first car.
yeah.
Oh,
And
God,
as
yes.
well, you can't really see it in this picture, but there's another one that I think it was Kavan posted a while ago. You can see the roof of the locomotive does not match the profile of the roof on the coaches.
Exactly. It's like, also, mainly with the coaches, I'm getting like an inner city vibe, meaning with that color setup
Yeah.
and the shape of them.
Well, the
Yeah.
colors
Anyone
are
else
gonna
get
be
that?
different, but I actually like the
Yeah.
paint scheme.
No, I do.
I,
but
I like the paint scheme too.
I'm just wondering, because the 3D render of this thing, that was all flush in one shape. I get it's a prototype and all, but if you're going to test your aerodynamics and stuff, it's like, well, don't you want that to be all smooth so you know it's going to work properly?
Yeah.
Well, in the 3D
No.
render, it was a completely different thing. The power
Yes.
car was shorter, the nose was different, the
This
paint
is
scheme was
true.
completely different.
But it was still, my point is, it was still flush,
Yeah,
like it's
I think I definitely agree it's important. I feel like this is a case of one committee was given the coaches, another committee was given the design of the locomotive,
Yeah.
and
they slapped
somewhere
it in.
somebody dropped a ball
Yeah.
on communication.
Where did
Well-
these guys learn aerodynamics from?
It's almost as if, like you said, I was going to say this exact thing. Like one party was given the engine, another party was given the coaches. It's like if you gave
And no one
Alstom
communicated.
the engine and Bombardier the coaches.
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry, they're not two different parties anymore. They just completed a €7 billion purchase.
Wow.
Alstom now owns Bombardier
Ooh.
Transportation.
Bombardier.
The entire Bombardier railway business is to be in the hands of the French. The deal was made last Thursday, or 2 Thursdays ago.
Isn't Bombardier already French?
Alstom is French. Bombardier
Yeah, but-
is Canadian.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's funny because a lot of my friends went to go chase this when it was going by, and I was saying it's kind of cool. It's pretty neat. It looks nice. I'm like, I'm gonna show you something that's gonna piss you off. You probably didn't notice. And they go, what? And I show them that gap.
And you'll
And
never
then-
unsee it.
They're like, why does that
Kermit.
exist? I hate it. And not even that. It just doesn't. I don't think it looks that great, honestly.
Mind the gap.
Mind the gap. That
Not
is the
because I'm eternally
that gap.
boomer and Steam is life, but just in
Yeah.
terms of actual streamlining, speeding, design, it just doesn't look good.
it's Mark and I were talking a little bit about this. It's not been designed so much for the strict aerodynamics like a lot of the early French and German high-speed trains were. It was designed for a lot of noise reduction and for clean air, like the Japanese ones. Which is why, with the double taper nose, it represents an earlier Shinkansen rather than
Yes.
the '80s Amtrak, the SJ,
Yeah.
the Swedish, whatever it was that came over.
Oh,
And
that thing,
honestly,
yeah.
the current Acellas, the things that have one continuous curve.
Which are very
Yeah.
similar to the early TGVs in terms
Yeah.
of
Right.
design.
They're designed to go very fast. They're not designed to necessarily be efficient and or quiet like the Japanese ones were.
Yeah.
That is true, but again, as you said, talking about the whole noise thing with the car just pressing so much against the air. I mean, I kind of also did that purpose at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
because you're talking about noise reduction and stuff, but you also mentioned earlier how with the cars jutting out like that, it hitting against.
Oh,
the
yeah,
air,
definitely.
That's that kind of defeats the
I'm
purpose.
talking about the nose was designed that way. The
Oh.
jutting out is clearly a mistake.
Yes.
Like, we're
Everything
all in
else.
agreement that that's stupid.
Yes.
You'd hope.
Yeah.
No, that's where the air intake is.
I want to know where these kids learn aerodynamics from. I want to. Why?
You know what else doesn't have aerodynamics?
What?
The new White Pass diesels.
Oh my god.
God. Think of ugly locomotive.
We were talking about
So what are
bricks
the
earlier.
oil painting of them? Oh, they're ugly.
God, these are bad.
Yeah.
Hashtag I want
What
my
do you want the
shovel
front to
nose
look like? The front.
Not that.
Want it to look like something.
What do you want the front to look like? How about we take a semi-truck, cover
Yeah.
the grill in spackle and smooth it over, and then ram it into a brick wall as hard as you can, and that's the nose of our locomotive.
Yeah.
There are school
You know what?
buses more aerodynamic than
White
this.
Pass. White Pass. We're gonna lower your new locomotive. Also, White Pass. We're
There
gonna
are
fix
bulldozers more aerodynamic than this.
Come on.
You know what?
Locomotive when?
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
What?
You guys know the Top Gear episode where they made their own semis and decorated them?
Yeah.
And Jeremy's
Yes.
was just the flat.
Yeah.
The little strip in the windshield.
We got to
Yeah.
give it a nickname though.
It kind of reminds
Jeff.
me of that.
Well, no,
Jeff.
they're shovel nose. So what do we call this thing? It's got to be tool related.
What's the... Oh, no, that isn't it.
Does it have ditch lights?
I
Yes,
got
yeah.
yeah.
It does have
Yes,
digital
it has ditch lights.
It's illegal.
shovel nose. This is the hammer nose.
It's the hammerhead.
Hammerhead's overused though. You got to be more.
I said hammer nose.
So there's
That's
we have
still,
the
that's
shovel
still
nose.
Word, though. That's still not. You got to be a little more.
Flathead.
Sledgehammer nose.
I like flathead.
Let's call it. How about the dead blow?
The
Jackhammer.
dead- Well, the sledgehammer nose, we could just call it the Peter Gabriel nose.
Jackhammer, I think, sounds like too cool. You need something that
Yeah,
is
that's
a
true.
tool and fits the description, but sounds sort of dumb.
The cinder block
'Cause it's-
nose.
The sexton.
That sounds too like refined.
That's true.
Again, this is something that screams to me like the dead blow or the ball peen.
The ball peen.
The tape measure.
Ball peens are way more aerodynamic than this.
Dead blow isn't. A dead blow is literally just a rubber hammer.
What do you mean by tape measure? The thing that they had it, they could make an actual nose.
Woof.
Fighting words.
Shots are being fired. There's also a picture floating around somewhere of this in the White Pass color scheme, and it does look a little better. But I think the thing that makes it look better is that it's on standard gauge trucks and it's being shot from the back.
You can't see the
I
front.
was gonna say the back looks okay.
The
back
looks
looks fine.
normal. It looks normal.
I'm trying to find the new. I found it. I found it.
I also don't like the trend of, and this seems to be a trend with these, a lot of European things, the Chargers, the Sprinters before them, and the new Acellas. Why can't locomotives have centralized headlights anymore? Like they always have. Why do they have headlights like a car? One on each side or two on each side. I don't like that look.
Wait,
That's not
these
very cash money.
these have central headlights.
Up top, but on the nose.
I think those are like class lights or
Most
something.
things just don't have nose headlights anymore.
You know what? I don't know.
Eh.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
No, like Gevos and stuff do. They have just a 2-ball package on the nose.
That's true. Yeah, well, you know
I
what?
don't know. I think that makes it look more like a locomotive. This is what makes it look like a stupid truck.
I'm a truck.
Not even a normal truck.
I'm a
stupid
truck.
Let me interest you guys in a much better looking nose. However, would you like a nose job?
All right.
The T1 Trust is hosting an open house.
Hey.
And it is their first public open house at the Gemini Industrial Machine in New Philadelphia. I glanced at that and went, oh, I'd love to go. New Philadelphia, Ohio. Damn it, never mind.
Oh,
Let's say
this mic is popping a lot.
Trader.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Jader.
the hours
that
will
might be
be
popping.
from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. A presentation will be held at 1 p.m. showing the state of the project to date. The presentation will last 45 minutes. You'll be able to visit and take photos with many of the parts, including the prow, wheels, and firebox components. Participants will also have the chance to blow the whistle of an original T1. It is the whistle
That's cool.
that 5550 will carry when complete.
Hey.
It's cool.
You said it was in New Philadelphia.
New Philadelphia, Ohio. I just want to throw out there, for those who know the full story of IHR Johnson, what I just said is interesting.
Yeah.
Anyone,
Yeah, really.
there'll be T1 t-shirts and other items on sale. You'll be able to sign up to become a member, or you could drive all the way out there to give them money. So, yeah, damn, that prow is big and sexy.
It is.
I still know a couple of guys who are still really skeptical about this project. It's like, oh, I'll wait till they get so-and-so done or whatever before I start giving them money. But it's like, they're already making it. I mean, like, I can see why, but at the same time, it's like they're making a lot of progress.
It's like they're not going to get there if you don't help.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and they're making a lot of, and that's a very legitimate point. The thing I look at is they're making a lot of progress. They're starting at weird places, and I get making the prow and one of the wheels. It's like, okay, to cost that kind of stuff. I will not be confident in this engine's completion until they have a frame. When they have a frame, from then on, everything else has been built in preservation. People cast wheels all the time. Boilers are made new all the time. All this is doable. The frame for this thing, that's going to be a job.
Well,
which I get, but at the same time, it brings up that thing. It brings up, like, whenever it's in the mentality, oh, these guys are doing this work and they need money to do the work, and I want to see them get it done, but I'm not going to give them the money so they can do the work so I can see this thing get done. You know what I mean? It's like a catch-22.
Oh, trust me. It is, but trust me, there will be plenty of money to give and plenty of things to spend it on when they get the frame done.
Yes, but there's also
they need to get that far before I will be confident enough to give them money.
Which is true, but again, you also still need people to get money to get to that point. But if that's
they're not. They haven't expressed any interest in it. They built the cab and all this kind of stuff, which I guess if you get individual donations, it's cool and wherever you can. But like,
I think it's
You got to
easy.
prioritize at some point.
Well, I will.
Yeah.
I will go back. So just to ground this thing a little bit, they're done with the boiler basically. The smoke box is on order. It's coming. The wheels you can do as like an individual donation, like they have a
Right.
specific donation page for wheels and wheel components.
Right.
And the reason the frame has been such a we can't do this right now is because it had to be catted first. So that's I think it's fair to be skeptical because it's
Yeah.
a long way to go. But
In
they,
short time to
yeah,
get there,
they
you
are
don't
admittedly
have to
starting at weird places. There's reasons for that. They can make the boiler right now. I believe they finished doing the CAD work to get the locomotive into CAD, and they probably are developing, or if not, have developed a plan at this point for what to do with the frame. Because it's going to have to come in
I'd
multiple
imagine
pieces.
so.
Uh,
I actually met a guy that the guy that does most of their CAD work. He's based out of the Springs.
mm-hmm. So, that's,
Because
it's exciting. They're making
It
good
is.
progress.
Yeah, I have faith. I'm gonna. You gotta have a little faith, brother.
Yeah,
Have a little faith.
there were some pessimists in the stream chat yesterday. I thought that was kind of funny.
We'll see.
I mean, I think one of the,
I'm not
I
a
think,
pessimist, but I'm not
Oh, no.
confident in it either.
No,
I think one of the big things when I got some people, someone told me they thought it was a scam. One,
No.
but it's like I don't think it's a
Things
scam.
that
'cause you-
Sabinsky is connected to are scams.
Yeah.
Oh, at Rips 2716.
Mwah. Good night, everybody.
you know
Good
what
night, everybody.
this
See
was
y'all in therapy.
this was something to pull out of the stream. A viewer in particular who will remain nameless, but if you watch the stream, you'll see it.
What
Was,
this is a point.
Basically saying that it'll never run above 70. And I feel like that's the weirdest line in the sand to draw. Because
Yeah.
if this
Yeah.
thing is completed, you have no idea what it's going to do. It's,
Yeah.
I can kind of see where that guy's coming from. Maybe on the point that whoever railroad, wherever they are, might not allow that. In a sense.
It'll never run to above 70, except A, who cares? B, you don't know that, and C, Pueblo.
and D, it also is the weirdest. I think it's the strangest line to draw because it's saying, yes, they are going to finish this thing, and then somehow be unable to get into the test track.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, that's a big
I
deal.
want
I can see one side, but at the same time, yeah, that is kind of bold
the
statement.
thing in my mind that's like it'd be cool if they could figure that out would be blowing someone at the FRA or at Amtrak,
Kinda
getting
like
it to
UP
run
did with
at speed on
4014.
the Northeast Corridor.
Kind of like UP did with 4014.
Would it fit, though? I know people harp
They
on
get,
about
like, unlimited
611
trackers
not
right
fitting
for it,
next to
basically.
high-level platforms.
Uh,
I've never checked
Just
to see if
running on,
that's
just
true.
running on the inner lanes.
Maybe on the Keystone corridor.
The Keystone, you could probably do it.
Strasbourg wine.
I mean, the Keystone, home turf.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Strasbourg
Bring it
wine.
over like Horseshoe and over the Panhandle.
For the record, I think Strasbourg was one of the three that said you can run here when it's done.
Yeah.
I mean, we
I
already
don't know
kind
what
of
the hell
proved
they
that you
would
could
do
do
with it, but
maybe.
what 611 did, basically.
That
Use a photo ops at the
611, but more difficult to deal with.
Yes. But maybe it's all plot. Maybe it's all plot. Maybe it's all plot for the Rare Museum of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, maybe
So
they're just putting
so
there for
they
the
keep it- yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, fools, we have now captured your engine collection forever.
All the other engines,
And then-
one of us. One of us.
one of us.
He's now gathered all the Chaos T1.
You can make the standard gauntlet.
Yeah.
You snap and all the signals
Snap.
in the world turn into position lights.
I was gonna say you snap and everything multiplies by 4.
And everything's misnumbered.
Benzie just operated on Moore's law. If a little is good, more is better.
More is better. Why? What
Speaking
were
of
you
things,
laughing about?
I was thinking of that GIF of usually it's a euphemism for the horizontal hokey pokey,
Yeah. Okay, go on.
of a particularly well-endowed gentleman and a less so female. It's, a GIF of a large train hitting a tunnel very quickly.
Yeah.
That was my
God.
image of 5550 at Strasbourg.
Jesus Christ.
Like trying to get into the shed or around any of the corners or into the station.
I know what you mean. Alright,
Yes.
Moki, you were saying?
Yeah, speaking of things multiplying, Frontrunner wants to double track. And they're supposed to be, according to this article, redoubling effort.
Yeah, I hope that wasn't a pun. I really hope it wasn't. I'll let Utah slide on this one, which I normally never let them do with anything, but
You never let Utah get away with anything.
But
Listen, they're
this-
Utah.
Yeah. They ain't getting away with the GM Dome car. I'll tell you that.
where did that is from? Double traction.
But yeah,
Well,
they are
speak of,
planning to do that.
Damn it.
And congrats. Why will go?
Speak of passenger train services that run along the foothills of mountains.
Okay.
Potentially.
That's a stretch,
We're
but
just
all
we're
right.
just
Well, I
fishing
mean,
for
I don't
these.
know how to put it into words, but it's like Frontrunner would be to Front Range Rail. Like they would be pretty much equivalent things.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know how to put that eloquently. Anyway, CDOT and the Union Pacific have officially drawn up a deal for the sale of Burnham shops, so that they can move the freight rail line to run through the Burnham corridor up through that yard, which used to be Lincoln Yard. They can bulldoze the current UP right-of-way and turn it into a freeway, and then the Burnham shop facility can be used at some later date by the state for front range passenger rail.
Okay.
Is that wishful thinking, or is that what they actually said?
That is their intention, and there is no legally binding document yet, but they have settled on a price. They have drawn up a contract, and right now they are in the holding pattern.
Nice. Well, if we want
Nice.
to talk
So,
about
very nice.
expanding
So
passenger rail,
TLDR, the shops won't be closed.
Yeah, TLDR, we don't know really what it's going to look like yet or how long it's going to take, but Burnham is saved.
Hey.
cool. I've got two
That's,
I
good.
just need the IRM to give the turntable back.
Or just steal the one out of Pueblo.
Yeah.
Yoink.
Yeah.
Pueblo's a real target tonight, isn't it?
Pueblo's always a target.
Pueblo's
Yeah.
always on the menu.
It's always Pueblo, Utah, Wyoming, and New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yup.
And then Ohio.
Or
In the case
Florida.
of-
Florida
Ohio's
is always on
always a
the menu,
target,
too.
though.
Ohio is worthy of fear.
Ohio is the meme.
Also Detroit, because we already made fun of them earlier.
We're
We're
not
not
Detroit.
Detroit. We have a lot of places we make fun of.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
At least I got chicken wings to save my skin.
We've got
You-
skiing.
Your very existence indirectly led to one of the two of the greatest moments of the podcast. One being Weibold dying in a tunnel, and the other one being my chicken is cold. Anyway, I've got two good notes out of Amtrak, like I was trying to get to before we get a little
Okay.
carried
Alright.
away.
Choo choo.
Tennessee officials take step forward with potential Nashville to Atlanta Amtrak line. So
Hey.
we're getting a study. Also, they picked out a picture of Washington, D.C. with two Acellas for this. That's not what you're getting, Tennessee, but
That,
You know,
that is not even
wishful
close, but
thinking.
okay.
On Wednesday, the
All
Tennessee
right.
Legislature's Transportation Committee passed a bill that could lead to the creation of a feasibility study. Man, that's a lot of coulds and lead tos.
Yeah.
Sounds-
The
Which,
inbred
which
limited.
would assess potential train routes to Atlanta, how much they might cost, and who would pay for them. Well, you know, this is the first step.
Yeah.
It's the first step,
Yeah.
and most places don't get this far. So,
Yeah.
this is
the reaching out and going, poke.
Yeah. Quote, "This is a business we want to grow," said Mark Magliari. I don't know who that is. Half of
Magliari.
our ridership every year, that's more than 31 million, is on state-sponsored routes. And we want to continue to grow that business and to be a resource.
Good
If
for them.
realized, the Atlanta to Nashville Amtrak line would take passengers between the two cities in about 6.5 hours. I don't know how that compares to freeway times, but we can probably guess that it's like an extra hour or two. Either way, it's nice to have.
It's Atlanta to Nashville.
Atlanta to Nashville.
It's just nice to hear we're expanding on rail instead of tearing it up and making F.
It's about 4 hours to drive.
Okay, so 2 hours difference.
Yeah.
That's pretty par for
Pretty
the
good.
course. A plan for Amtrak to return serving the Gulf Coast is also in the works. That is, the Mobile City Council recently voted to restore a specific Amtrak route between Mobile and New Orleans, so that's the vote that we were waiting on. That was going to happen on New Year's Eve, but got postponed. That would be the first time a train's returned to this route since Hurricane Katrina in 2005, despite every administration, almost every administration since, lobbying for the return of this Amtrak service. There have only been 2 administrations, but it's important to note that has been people on both sides of the aisle. saying this train should come back.
Yeah.
But hey, when you get Alabama on board with something like this, that's a big deal. So, Wiley Blankenship, representative of the Southern Rail Commission and president and CEO of the Coastal Alabama Partnership, says we've got a lot of work to do. We can celebrate this one small milestone, but we have to secure infrastructure, and we have to help the city find a way to secure the money to build the station out. So, needless to say, they don't really have a station after 15 years of not having a station. Or of not having a train. So, that's, it's an important note. Now, one of the other things, though, is, I'm not sure anybody snapped it up. It was another Amtrak article about corridors in particular. Did anybody grab that?
No, I
don't
No,
think
it's
so.
down here. So Amtrak unveiled a $300 million corridor development proposal. It's a Trains Magazine article, so I don't know what's in there, but I assume it's more of the same. We're used to it. They're looking to make more short-distance routes. And if only it didn't come at the cost of having a national rail network, I would be a lot more behind it. So,
Yep.
you know.
If it meant increasing corridor service, yay, that's great. But it means increasing corridor service in lieu of Transcon
At
service.
the expense of Transcon service. It is, Also, you know what? Where'd the other thing go? I have another one. I have another Amtrak article, another thing to be frustrated about. Amtrak is making their ticketing more like, surprise, surprise, airline ticketing.
Wow.
You're not going to be
Oh,
able to
boy.
refund
What's
the
the
Saver
deal?
fares. And, let's see.
What's the deal with airline ticketing?
Dick Anderson is what? When
Hey,
new policies
I
take
fear
effect,
for Amtrak.
passengers who purchase Saver fares will have 24 hours to cancel or modify their reservation without a penalty. After 24 hours, the tickets will become non-refundable, and changes will not be permitted. These tickets are not transferable.
Transferable.
The more expensive tickets will also become restricted. On standard value fares, a 25% penalty may apply, and a 15% penalty for changes made within 2 weeks of departure, unless the passenger is changing or upgrading the reservation on the same train. More flexible tickets continue to allow changes without penalty. So, pay more, and you can continue to enjoy the same comforts that everyone else has had since the beginning of Amtrak.
I hate this
yeah,
new ideology of Amtrak that they're facing. Because I know the guy, Anderson, airline CEO, but it's like, oh, we're going to make them more like airlines. But it's like, wasn't the point of taking the train so it's not like the airline at the same time?
Yeah.
So you're kind of defeating that purpose there, aren't you?
We're going to try and make Amtrak profitable. The point of Amtrak is that it doesn't make a profit. That's the only reason it exists.
Because
it's a government-funded thing.
What is it?
It's not out to make a profit.
Amtrak came into existence because passenger rail was no longer a profitable business endeavor. So the government said, you know what, we'll take over this and just deal with it.
So that we can have, something that every other first world country has.
So that so that pretty much every other nation in the world has. Don't limit it to first world. Russia has it. North Korea has a national rail network. Most of Africa has a national rail network.
No, I kind of want to bring up
Or
the
have
topic.
national rail networks.
The Acela topic here, just
The nation of Africa.
kind of related here. Just like everyone's like,
The
oh,
nation of Africa, yes.
we need high-speed rail. We need high-speed rail. It's like, we do, but at the same time, it's like, you can't
You
really
just need
have a
rail.
nation. Well, no, you really, for our country specifically, you really can't have a nationwide, coast-to-coast, high-speed rail system.
Not with that attitude, you can't. China's doing it.
Yeah.
You could.
But that's also
The thing that
China.
the thing that doesn't work is having high-speed rail. Like, there's talk of people are trying to sell this front range thing with, oh, we're going to make it high-speed rail. That doesn't work because it's 5 miles or 5 to 10 miles between stations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't have high-speed rail. That's not. These things they don't work.
It's not even that. It's like, because my always big one says, oh, we need high speed. It's like, how do you make that work? It's like we have so many different climates, climate region stuff that we go through, like deserts, mountain, plains. You have to build a railroad that has to deal with all of that.
Yeah, but again, you can look at not to hold China up as this paragon, but they do a lot with infrastructure.
China.
It's also it's true.
Honestly, I think China is a very fair thing to hold up as the paragon of infrastructure in this day and age.
They make they make tunnels and bridges like nobody's business. I mean, I've been to Italy. I've seen the high-speed line there. It goes in a straight line. It does not matter what's in the way. There is a tunnel under part of Vesuvius. Like, if there's a will, there's a way. You can build a straight line railroad through anything.
This is true, but again, also gotta remember it's also China.
It's China, but
Well,
in the other example I just gave was Italy.
True.
Yeah, the government's like put rail construction and transportation and shit at the top or near the top of their agendas.
It
That's
also
why
helps that you don't have to worry about what the people think.
Communism.
That helps.
But it's at the top of their thing, and communism.
Yeah.
So that's why.
So what you're saying is, in order to get high-speed rail, we need to become communist.
All right, that's my next 100.
To get
Red Scare
high-speed
Part 2.
rail, it might be helpful to not have both of the world's largest air forces.
That's maybe also true. But
that starts getting into the realm of politics.
Many of the world's largest airlines. I mean, it is also a population density problem, but where does high-speed rail work? Not necessarily in the most densest places, considering Texas continues to forge ahead on their high-speed rail. We've got no less than 5 articles on Texas high-speed rail. Now, some of them are not so great, including the fact that NIMBY is happening, as one might expect. The FRA has...
I don't want to deal with Texas NIMBY.
Yeah, you really don't. Texas NIMBYs have big guns.
Texas NIMBY is NIMFB.
Not in my effing backyard.
Not in my ranch.
Boston NIMBY's like, it's some accountant, and he's like, well, I don't think this is good for the neighborhood. I really would prefer that we didn't have this kind of service running through. It's just very disruptive.
First of all, he doesn't...
Get off of my property!
First of all, no Boston NIMBY sounds like that. Second of all, there are 2 kinds. There's that guy who just hangs out and he goes to the pubs and he goes to sees the Sox every week. Or there's the mob.
Yeah.
Can't forget. Anyway, back to Texas.
Mickey, Vinny, and Tony will beat the shit.
You know what?
Anyway.
You know what else you can't forget? California high-speed rail.
I want to get to them too, but I'm talking about Texas first. Well,
Yeehaw state right
I'm
now.
talking about the extent of commies. If we're talking about commies, they're definitely not commies, and they get called commies all the time. So, there's, Texas. Brady opposes. So there is some opposition, you might say.
Of course.
As always.
Apparently, it's not the first time this has happened. Apparently, this same group has been has stopped the last Trans-Texas corridor. 15 years ago, a group against the Trans-Texas Corridor Freeway project prevented crews from breaking ground and permanently disrupting the livelihood of residents along the corridor. Now, many of the same people are trying to stop the construction of a Houston to Dallas bullet train. Many showed up at a rally on the 19th of February that was also attended by U.S. Representative Kevin Brady, Texas State Senator Lois Kolkhorst, and other state and local officials ready to take the fight to Washington, D.C. Texas Central wants to build a 240-mile rail corridor, as we know, and they are keeping an option open that will help pay for it federally. But they are not. They are apparently not fazed by the opposition. Now, I will point out that this, what was it? Something Brady, not Tom Brady.
No, my first thought.
Here, what? Sorry, that came out.
It's
yes,
okay, Warhawk.
okay.
I'm behind you.
You know, it's okay, Warhawk. Someday you'll go to a Super Bowl and actually win.
Hey, still the only team to do it, buddy.
Go to
Patriots gave you tie that record.
Oh yeah, what a shame. We didn't lose 4 times in a row.
You still didn't make it 4 times in a row, though.
Ooh.
6 rings. Anyway. All we want is for our rural voices to be heard, Brady says. They're worried about impact to our rural communities, including safety worries, damage to our rural countryside, and documented questions about the financial shakiness. What the heck is that? Hold on. Financial shakiness of this controversial project. Texas Central said in its statement a whole bunch of stuff. I am gonna I can't turn that off. Okay.
Huh.
I'll be right back.
Well, speaking of
Okay, well-
environmental concerns, for a brief tangent,
Okay.
the Durango and Silverton has recently rolled out number 493 into revenue service.
Hey,
I saw
Hey.
that.
So-called green steam engine because
You
it
know
is an oil
what?
burner.
you know what? It'd be more green if they painted the boiler jacket green.
I would love it if they painted the boiler jacket green. It's being billed as this, it's so much more environmentally friendly, which we know it really isn't, but it's the big one is it's not as prone to setting fire.
But they say,
They're-
yeah,
they're-
can't
they're-
blame us on forest fires
they're-
now.
Yeah.
They're trying to appeal to the people of Durango with
this is an environmentally friendly option. And in fact, the oil is more expensive than coal, but this fixes two big problems for the DNS, or at least addresses two big problems. That being the fire danger, which
Yeah.
they spend close to $1 million every year on fire mitigation,
Which
not
is
even
quite a bit.
fighting it, which is a
Yeah.
lot, to state the obvious. And as well, it deals with the fact that coal is not that it's not readily available, but the supply can sometimes be shaky, and it's very subject to change.
Yeah, that
Especially,
kind-
especially in this
Yeah.
day and age with public opinion and politics going the way that they have, sourcing coal for steam engines is going to become increasingly difficult.
yeah.
So 93 is done. 473 is currently getting converted to oil. I think 86 follows that, and then I'm not sure what order they're going to go in, but it's in full swing.
That's good. It's nice to see they're doing something done. Getting stuff done there and stuff, Because again,
Yeah.
and people. I feel like narrow gauge, especially in this age and age in general, it's just really overlooked in terms of fan bases. I guess you could say
Yeah.
some people really don't care for it as much. Like I was talking about yesterday on our little podcast, we were talking about it, and all my friends I don't care for. I know I'm using that word again. Hush, trying to be smart.
Wrong.
They're
Say it right.
I
What bits of news did I miss before?
We're still talking about 93.
Okay, green engine. I
was a
Madison's
dummy.
car is dead.
Ooh.
Oh,
He's stranded.
shit.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well,
it's relatively close, but we are
Okay,
2
well,
hours
I think
20
we
in.
can.
Do you think
I
you
think
guys
we-
can carry this for a little while?
You know what? If I can carry people in Walker, you guys think I can carry this?
Well, how about this? We'll do this. We will carry on, and if you get back before we finish the podcast, and we can finish as normal. If we wrap up beforehand, we will end the podcast, wait probably 30 seconds, and then we'll all scream into the mic so
Yeah.
that you have
I
an
tell you,
audio
man.
signature that you know to cut before.
I'm telling you, man, I'm a bad omen.
Maybe don't do that.
At
But
disrupting
all right.
change.
Go get your girl.
No.
Gonna need to go do that.
Okay.
Go save Madison.
Iron Horseman Roadside Rescue.
Again, man,
All
I'm a
right.
bad omen.
All right. So.
Look at me. I'm the
Wait.
captain now.
Okay, so on the topic of narrow gauge,
Okay.
probably
No.
the biggest preservation news of the year, I'd say,
Yup.
maybe if not the decade.
Oh boy.
Yep, gee,
Oh yeah, this
Oh,
is a
boy.
good thing. This is
Yes.
good.
Yes, this
The
is
East
very
Broad
good.
Top is back.
Yeah. They did it.
Yeah, as of February 14th, a group made up of a lot of important people in the heritage community. We got Wick Mormon, like Levin, and more. They're all behind the EBT now. They
Yep.
went through. They bought it from the Volchik family. So here's to hoping that they'll be running maybe by
Then
6 months or
the
something.
Their plan is to be running the motor
Motor
car
car.
M1, or is it M1
Yeah.
or M7?
I think it,
M1, M7
Oh,
is the little center cab.
M7's the diesel. It's the
M1 is the motor car.
Yeah,
or-
they're hoping to run the M1 by the end of the year with all of their major
Track
infrastructure
repairs.
investment, and then,
And then-
hopefully Steam by the end of 2021 is
This
what
is-
I've heard.
This is
Yeah.
really exciting because I didn't think I'd see this
Oh,
in
yeah.
my lifetime. Honestly, I don't think anyone did.
I was so worried about this. It's one thing to hear like, oh, the EBT is, they're owned by scrappers and they haven't run and it's not really a sustainable business model. Visiting there in 2017, the realization was made like, this is not a tourist railroad that has been shut down. This is
a historic landmark.
This is a one-of-a-kind historic gem that needs to be preserved exactly as it is.
Yeah.
It was recently added to it's been on the register, but there was some involvement with the Smithsonian, or somebody from the Smithsonian sort of championing it before all this happened. And now it has been preserved. So
it's awesome.
Again, I was talking about some of my friends last night, and they're like, "Oh, well, it's just narrow gauge." I'm like, "What do you mean it's just narrow gauge? Like, it's narrow gauge is not as cool." I'm like, "Narrow gauge is cool. It has a really, a specific purpose. It's got like a really interesting draw to it. It's that size for a reason. Like, it's not a train; it's a toy train at that point." I'm like, "I don't think you understand how this works."
Yeah. It's the most historically accurate railroad out there.
That's why I said the big difference between narrow gauge and a lot of like the popular line steam. These narrow gauge engines have their own full dedicated rail lines that are pretty extensive.
Yeah.
A lot of these big engines everyone likes aren't running that much because they have nowhere to go.
The DNS covers more steam mileage than all of the big mainline runners put together.
Yeah.
Exactly my point. I'd love to go visit them eventually. Now I'm glad that I have like a narrow gauge. This is coming back open, but it's like, I get if you don't like it, but now you just think stupid reasons why not to like it. I mean, it's a really interesting thing, and they served their purpose and they did their purpose well. I was going to kill me. Every time I mentioned 493, I kept saying 437 because I think the K37 was stuck in my head and I wasn't looking at an image of it.
Yeah, the numbers can be like whenever somebody talks about some of the lesser known big steam engines, like 638, I missed the number up a lot on.
I think it was mainly because K37 was stuck in my head, so that was really coming to mind.
The big engine.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been really cool to see.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and then the group that bought it, even 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks as of now since they've bought it, they're already doing work on the property, doing track work.
They better be if they're going to make those deadlines.
Yeah.
They're off.
I'm just impressed with what they're doing.
They're off to the race.
They're doing the Lord's work. They're doing good stuff.
Now, I mean, if every tourist line could be like this, that'd be great. But
we just need a few more billionaires in the industry.
Yeah.
You small.
All right. When's a good time to go mining Bitcoin?
Right.
I mean, the stock market tanked, so
now's a good time to buy. Yeah,
invest now.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
the market can only go up from here, said everyone in 1929 before it crashed.
You still got 9 years until that.
Yeah. The Roaring Twenties, man.
I don't know that we're going to make it that far.
Yeah.
I think the 20s might roar for a year or two, and then we might be staring down the barrel of something different. Let's go with. Is there any other big news at this point?
Speaking of making bank,
that's a good one.
The Bart has a station agent who worked 361 days in 2018 and made over $100,000 in overtime. Holy shit.
What?
The staffing is in San Francisco. That's enough for a tank of gas.
Yeah, really though.
I worked 361 days last year. I can afford a Snickers bar.
Yeah. But wow.
That's wildly impressive, though.
That makes my overtime.
This dude was a janitor too. So
yeah,
it's miserable work.
Yeah, no, as someone who's a backup janitor, Jesus Christ, dude.
Janitor.
I hate working overtime as a backup janitor.
Thankless work.
But yeah, it really is. But you know what isn't thankless? California High Speed Rail.
Again,
We got back to it eventually.
Yep.
everyone's talking about high speed
Wait.
rail. No one talks about this
Wait.
bona fide 6-car monorail.
Nothing quite like.
Bona fide 6-car monorail.
But
What's
anyways,
it called?
Bona fide 6-car monorail.
There it is.
they've unveiled a bill to fund it, which is great. And they want to keep on pushing forward and hopefully have their 119-mile Central Valley line done this year. Have fun, guys.
yeah,
California,
right.
They want to move backwards.
Yeah, right.
The big backwards machine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe them if they said they were aiming to have their Central Valley line done by 2025.
Yeah.
You're gonna have it done by the end of this year. Also, you've proposed a bill to fund it with what money? You're
Yeah.
so freaking broke. Like what? No.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's just crazy.
Come on.
But you know what else is crazy? Dark Silverline neighbors are fearing eminent domain,
Dark.
and they propose subway tunnel as an alternative.
Where is this?
Okay, Texas.
Oh,
Dark is Dallas Rapid, or Dallas area.
gotcha.
And they want to build a new line, which is good. Sure, build more lines. Build your infrastructure up. Boom. But apparently the residents aren't too wild about the idea. Because it's in quotes on my property by like 5 feet.
Oh no.
And then they propose, you should put a tunnel. Why? Because the current tunnel is doing so well in maintenance.
Well, you know.
Been not a lot of good news about tunnels lately in this.
Yeah,
No,
no.
there's a lot of yelling going on with these different projects, and it's just frustrating to see from the outside.
Yeah.
Whether you're in support of them or not, it's just like, guys, come on.
Do. Come on, get that shit.
Progress anyway.
We got to figure out something at some point, please. And you know who else just doesn't get it?
Who?
Florida.
Florida
There
did a lot of
was-
things.
Yeah, you know what? They have a lot of fatalities from Brightline.
Yeah.
They had another one killed on, or I believe it was this Monday, the 24th,
Monday.
or last Monday, the 24th, because for once we're actually filming this early. That's kind of weird.
Wow.
Yeah, like what the
Yeah.
hell? And as well, there's another video for an article here. I'm reading off of this thing just to try and crank through a little bit of news, so I'm not prepared for this one. And another person was killed on Tuesday, although this might be, was killed on Tuesday the 18th in a train-to-car collision. No, in both cases, nobody on board the train was injured, but come on, guys. Like, at what point do you step in as an oversight commission and say, okay, you have had the highest kill count of any railroad by a lot. You're out killing the class 1s with thousands of miles of track running constantly.
But
How?
are we surprised? It's Florida.
But it's like, how are you doing this? Are Floridians that dumb?
Dude, a lot of that sun man goes right through their head, and
I guess it must. They're too busy drinking bleach to watch out for the train tracks.
they're just brainwashed by Disney and saltwater.
Speaking of Disney,
We're just fishing for these transitions tonight.
yeah, I got my fishing rod out.
This is a theme.
Disney is installing new track in their Magic Kingdom in Disney World.
Well, I guess they kind of need to after that boat sank.
We talked about this last week.
Did we?
Yes, I remember it was my jurisdiction. We didn't have pictures, but that's kind of cool.
Okay, now we have pictures.
We have pictures of it. Yay!
I've also gone through and clicking through all the news that we've talked about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, good shout.
Yeah. To
Alright.
differentiate what we have and haven't talked about. Speaking of things we haven't talked about, in a while.
Maybe someone who hasn't talked in a while. Warhawk, do you have anything?
Let's see. Actually, I know I haven't really. I'm not.
You have one bid lane.
Okay, I have no good transition for this, but there's a locomotive in Michigan that's
Damn
being
it.
targeted for vandalism,
That's
which is really a damn
that's a shame.
Pierre Marquette 1223 on display in Grand Haven, Michigan, is being targeted with people constantly spray painting on it, doing all sorts of things with it, and basically no one's doing much about it to prevent it.
That's when you get a friend sub group together and paint the engine every 6 months or
It's
something.
just-
Yeah.
I feel like that one is you're not really gonna preventing it isn't a matter of protecting the locomotive, it's changing the culture surrounding graffiti in the area.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
unfortunately, the article given doesn't say much about it, but it's just on that whole topic. It's just like it is kind of a shame that it just.
It
I've
is.
seen this engine. I've seen this engine a couple years. They do the how do I explain it? Where it is in the park they have is really nice and really cool. It's like an old coaling tower, like some boxers and cabooses in 1223. They did a really good job of keeping this thing in the shape it is, and then just seeing
But
all that.
I was
work.
gonna say it looks very good
Yeah.
for a park engine. It looks like they actually come out and paint it every couple years.
See, and it's a shame
Yeah.
because I don't want this to happen to what we had, because in Black Rock 70s and 80s we actually had a Canawa on display, number 2701.
Oh,
Black
I
Rock's
heard
not-
of this.
Yes, Black Rock isn't a. Let's say, how do you put it? It's not a great neighborhood.
Mm.
It wasn't then, isn't now. And well, that thing got graffitied so bad, vandalized so bad. People stealing parts off that thing for scrap, all that.
Yeah.
They scrapped it. They literally scrapped the locomotive. Like there's like nothing left of it. Like it's just like, well, we can't do it. What do we do this thing now? And just, I mean, we already have a lot of Canawas, but like it's kind of an unfortunate end to that specific
It
one.
is.
That's like, oh, here's this thing we put on display to show some of our history in this area. Ooh.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
and
ooh.
people that
green.
don't put value on it just ruin it for everyone else.
Yeah.
So it's kind
We
of
had-
unfortunate.
Which unfortunately, most of the people that don't put value on it is city themselves.
Yeah. Well, and it's usually the people that ruin it are the very, very, very minority. if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. It's kind of like we had one of the pieces of equipment that's at the museum now, Denver, Boulder, and Western 30, used to be on display in a park in Boulder. Back in the 70s, the vandalism, they didn't have spray cans to be spraying it up as much, obviously. But somebody fucking dynamited a caboose that was behind it.
Holy shit.
Holy
Like,
shit.
the caboose was there one night, and they came in the next morning, and all that was left was trucks.
Holy shit.
And so the locomotive and the coach that survived were quickly moved there at the museum currently. They both need a little bit of work, but they're hanging in there. The caboose it's gone though. It's gone.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of the old display that 223 was on. It had a box car and caboose.
Yep.
And those suffered the fire, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, the other one is, I don't know if it was the 223 equipment that was, I've never heard of them being in a fire. At the Royal Gorge, though, 499 had a caboose behind it that was lost in a fire.
Yeah.
And its doghouse went up, and its tenders end beam got singed.
I'll try and find a picture of.
I've just not heard of that specific incident. But
yeah.
Back to the track that we were sort of on. It's just a shame how these things, you put them out in public, and they just get destroyed.
Yeah, or like the whole deal with what was the engine that was in and everyone desperately tried to save because the town wanted to get rid of.
Sabinski's engine, the one in Texas. 506.
Yes,
503.
503.
Was it 503?
I want to. You know what? In situations like that, though, it's like I kind of feel bad for the town to get rid of me because obviously no one knew about it before, and now all of a sudden, I mean, you don't miss things till they're gone, right?
Yeah.
That's like the big statement, and everyone's like, it's like, why do you want to save this thing now? You didn't care about it before, so it's like, what makes you? I get it, we want to save it and all that, but like, you didn't even know this thing existed. If this didn't make news, it just would have, would have went like that. So like, why all of a sudden the huge draw? And in the end, the town's just like, oh well, we didn't know how popular it was. No, we're gonna keep it for ourselves, do the work ourselves, which is nice that they're doing that. But
even though
there's over everyone else, and really everyone's efforts were literally in vain for nothing.
Well, then it goes into the argument of like, well, The
What do we
town's
have
going to
to
keep
spend that
it.
money?
The town doesn't frickin' deserve it because the town almost willingly scrapped
Cut
it.
it up.
It's like you guys don't know what this is. You don't know how to care for it, and you clearly don't care for it enough.
Yeah.
So you
Whatever
don't
happened to that
deserve it.
money anyway?
It went.
It went to
uh,
580.
And I got refunded.
It went into
Or a Buckeye
Sabinsky's
truck.
pockets.
I think it was that, and then
Yeah.
That was my
and
biggest
then they
question.
went to Rescue 587.
But still, it's like that was my biggest
Train
question after
robbery.
that whole thing happened in Town City. It's like, okay, where's the money?
They either
Which,
got
in fairness, the
refunded.
587 thing was that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good use for it.
Yeah, it was. I did find
Anyhow,
I did find
I was
pictures
thinking about
of
that the other day. Like, whatever happened?
I thought that was the first thing I thought of when all I went down. It's like, okay, where's the money?
yeah. What
Yeah.
happened?
I never saw
what
anything
did,
about
what did
it.
we ultimately raise? Like 10 grand?
No, I
I
think
think
it was
more than
like 50.
yeah.
I think 60,
Wow.
60
Like it was just about funded by the time.
And like last second, they like bumped it up by like another 10 grand or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Maybe
town was playing
$11.
games with them.
Yeah. Now it's just, and speaking of, I'm gonna bring up just a really jagged topic real quick because I haven't seen much about it. I'm trying to find answers. What happened to Monon 50 after it got
Oh, not
decapitated?
50. Oh,
That
the switcher?
SW1. Yes, I want to know. I have a little.
I'd
personal
assume
opinion.
they're just gonna rebuild it when they get the
We-
chance.
Yeah, but I haven't heard anything about it. It's been at least a year or two since that whole incident happened. I heard the trucking company insurance was going to pay for it, but I haven't
That's
heard
good.
anything past that since.
Oh, I missed
Yeah, I
the
haven't
EBT
heard- I don't know.
talk. Damn it.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm so excited. Well, I got to talk about it.
there was much rejoicing.
I got to talk about it.
Yeah.
on the
How's
stream.
Madison?
She's fine.
Okay,
Alive,
good.
just need
One
a jump.
Piece.
She's fine. She's back. I have
Okay.
her back in here. I unlocked the door for her
Nice.
and I went, I gotta go back.
Yeah.
Duty calls.
Yep.
We were talking about. Let's see. We went through 493. We talked about the EBT. We talked about California high-speed rail.
I've
Then
got
we
about
talked fires.
We talked about fires. We talked about the vandalism incident, which led into a
Yeah.
long conversation that has kind of led us to the Monon 50 engine, the switcher that got decapitated a year or so ago.
Yeah, because because it kind of relates to 587 because I saw that engine back in like 20. Actually, we went to that museum when my family when I had some family living in Indiana, and it was like a really slow day museum. We were like the only ones on the train. They saw us wearing an MP T-shirt, so they didn't mean to cap it that thing. So it's like I really like that, and I'm trying to see if I can find more information about what the hell happened to it after that whole incident went down. So I'm
Gotcha.
trying to find. I haven't heard much
Probably
about
just
it
get
since.
repaired. The group, I think, has yet to establish themselves again. So
Yeah,
I need to find the article for it, but a
They-
month or so ago, I remember
Dude,
reading
dude.
that the ITM, at least like part of it, they found a new home in Logansport, I think.
let's say,
Yeah,
what's the deal with that museum now? Is that dead yet?
Okay, hold up. I have a spreadsheet for this.
The thing that just doesn't make sense in my
But-
head is, okay, do you guys know the Nickel Plate Express?
Yeah.
Actually, I paid the pay.
Okay, so they run on not like all the same track as the ITM, but in like
Most
the
of it.
same, yeah, like the same ish, like most of the same track in Noblesville and the area around it. And from what I understand, they're fine.
Hmm.
I don't
they
know.
might be better at putting down complaints. They might not have pissed off someone.
All right, there.
I don't know about. I don't know enough
I
about
don't know.
specifically what happened with
There,
ITM.
there's a list
just-
of what happened to all their stuff. That was made by people. This just started out initially when they were starting to cut up stuff, and there was quite a few of us tracks and nuts that were interested in some of their stuff. Because the bulk of
Files.
the bulk of what they did wind up scrapping was tracks stuff and a few old freight cars, and I think one or two passenger cars and two electric locomotives. Unfortunately, the torques.
Man, I just keep forgetting like how. I mean,
It
was-
happened so fast.
And then,
But
I
I
just wake
remember-
up one day and then Great Train 587 Great Train Robbery Part 2.
Yeah.
And then stuff started getting cutting up.
Mostly
cut up.
mostly
I
L
think got
cars.
involved at one point, and now we're here.
Yeah.
With a Mikado in pieces and a decapitated switcher.
Well, you know what? I
Yeah.
remember if I remember kind of specifically about that museum, after about it, you kind of the more you read about them, why that was happening, kind of didn't feel as bad
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, well, they certainly knew it was coming for a while, and it was a lack of preparation that allowed it to become as dire as it did. But that
And-
doesn't change it being unfortunate.
And we're glad that so many individuals and the organization stepped up to help out and preserve a lot of the equipment that otherwise would have been cut up.
Yeah.
Like, Hoosier Heart and Trolley Company established themselves because of this. And now they own 3 Indiana trolley cars. Oh, well, 4.
How are we doing for time, Ellis?
We can wrap this up here pretty shortly. I'm clearing out all the other articles that we probably aren't going to get to.
I think we're kind of...
Yeah.
Jader, I can tell, is running out of steam. I know I am.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I honestly don't know
Yeah.
how I'm still going right now.
Like I said, man, I'm a bad omen.
It's almost midnight over there.
Well, it is. It's the podcast. That's not
I've
you.
been building the box crow this whole time. Maybe
No,
that's what's
I'm
been
saying
keeping
I
me
know
going.
it's not. I'm just saying that.
Boxing.
I mean, Brightline hit somebody else. I wanted to cover that, and the New York City Transit Authority is retiring some very, very old subway cars that they've had
All right.
for a long time. Those are the two things that I wanted to cover.
I only have one really major update.
What's that?
And it's one from an engine that we haven't heard from in a long, long time. Engine 197 at Orf.
Okay, yeah.
The red-haired stepchild of the fleet. Because you always hear about 700, 40 for 49. You never hear about 197. Well, after they put back SP&S 700 this November, they're going to start working on 197. And they intend to use it on the Holiday Express as their primary engine for that.
Sweet.
Cool.
So, congrats. You're making good progress on it.
I'll add one last thing here because it kind of relates to another Pacific I heard. I haven't seen it personally yet, but my friend was reading and he was telling me, I guess 152, LN 152 had an update on it recently. I guess they're going to start going back to work on that, as far as I'm aware.
I think they sent the border back to Strasbourg.
Yeah.
Dun,
Mentioned,
dun.
news from Energy you haven't heard in a while. 24/7 SP 2472 got moved to the interchange at Niles Canyon, I think, recently as well.
Yeah, I did. And they plan on moving it at some point in the future.
And
TM.
where's that going exactly?
It's going to Hill in California, which is on the Northwestern Pacific Railroad. And
What's the plan with that? I should say.
okay, they have a museum site that they're established there.
Okay.
And if I had to make a guess, this is just speculation on my part, and kind of knowing that environment, they'd probably want it on the Napa Valley.
Is it in operable condition, or does it need a rebuild?
I think the most it needs is a 2472, I think.
1472.
Wait a minute.
The one
God damn it.
172.
Oh boy.
The thing it needs most is itself.
Yeah.
Just needs a little self-loving.
Steam engines, that's usually the case.
Yeah.
Just, what does it need? Crane up the whistle and roll in a new one
Yeah.
underneath it. That'll fix it.
Come and get your.
All right. Is that everything?
I
Yeah.
think for now that is everything.
Really brief things, but all right.
Beako
So I'll start the Ohio Railway Museum. Our opening day is Sunday, May 3rd.
Hey.
2 weekends from that, on May 16th, we are doing something new, and we're going to use the little CSX transfer caboose, the Love Shack that we got last year.
Something new,
Exactly.
something brown, something blue.
It's the Nut Shack.
In my opinion, I mean, hopefully we paint it before then, because honestly, it looks like a piece of shit.
The big blue waffle of death.
Anyway, we're going to be doing a spaghetti dinner and caboose rides.
Spaghetti dinner. Oh.
From what I
Spaghetti.
understand, it's going to be like you pay everything. Well, let me just look here.
Sounds like Ohio has something going for it after all.
It's kind of like our spaghetti dinners on the Wamick or trolley. Except for we actually go to a spaghetti restaurant.
Okay, yeah. So spaghetti dinner will be free with a donation, and then caboose rides are $10.
Hey.
Swear
Just
to God,
make sure
it's
that
mac
you
and cheese and
make sure that
ketchup.
you have your ticket on you. Otherwise, you'll be mistaken for an impasta.
All right. That was unnecessary.
No, my name is
All right.
Linguini.
And then
Let's-
the last thing I'd like to mention is down in the Hocking Valley, our Valentine's dinner train went really well. We are doing another one on March 28th, my birthday.
That's not
Hey,
Valentine's
first
Day.
Congratulations,
Hold up.
Peter.
This is some false advertising.
Ta-da.
Yeah, so we're.
So who you bringing as a date?
I don't know yet.
The
Peter,
spaghetti.
you bring
Right hand.
I mean,
You can bring me.
Spaghetti.
You make Ohio worth it for me, Durbin.
The savagery.
Jader makes
Yeah.
Ohio worth it for all of us.
Okay, well that's a lie. I mean,
but I don't know.
It's a
I
stretch.
might bring a date to this thing. I don't know yet. I'd love to, but I don't know yet.
Well, we wish you the best of luck.
Yes.
Wait, all riders must be 21 or. Wait a minute.
Hold up.
No, wait a minute.
it's all 21 up, but hold up.
No,
Oh.
hold on. March
That
28th
kind
at
of
6
spaghetti.
p.m. No, hold on. This is for the dinner train. March 28th at 6 p.m. I was born at like 11:28 in the
I don't think
morning.
anyone's gonna look at the
Yeah,
specific
nobody's
So
gonna
I'm
look at the
good.
time. It doesn't have the time on your license.
I don't think anyone's gonna look at the I don't think anyone's
I'm
gonna
not
add come on
talking
the
about the
train.
spaghetti dinner.
Okay.
Spaghetti.
Oh, he's
spaghetti
gonna
dinner
go
is
to
its
a
own thing.
booze train. I get it.
Well, I think you're talking about the whole 21 older thing.
Honestly, I fucking love a booze train.
You're not turning 21 though, are you?
No, I am.
Oh, I thought you
Hey.
turned 20.
Yeah.
Welcome
Jader's
to
gonna
the
be
club.
21.
That make him a
Congratulations.
Club. Welcome,
Uh,
Squidward. Welcome, Squidward.
Does it make me the baby?
Does it?
Uh,
I mean, I just
No,
turned
that
21.
still is a
like,
Jillies.
Yeah.
oh, I'm talking about right
According to-
now.
Well, according to my friend that I kind of have a crush on that I was talking with Tuesday.
Hey.
Good thing you didn't say it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. He was talking to lots of people Tuesday.
Yeah.
It could be a number of people. It could be
Yeah, but he goes to
Watch
engineering
it.
college. You know it's only been one girl.
Hey,
Oh, the
Ooh.
sad truth.
hey, listen. The
Search
thing
your-
about it, the thing I
Yeah.
like about OU is that
Oh, yeah.
engineers, there's literally everybody. You got engineers, you got jocks, you got journalism nerds, you got English education. Yeah, there's a fucking Japanese culture.
There's always
li-
weeb.
There's
Nice.
literally everybody,
Everyone's got a weeb.
and I kind of try to have my fingers in a little bit of everything.
Okay.
And
Well, what about your
necessarily
crush?
from
I
all-
was gonna say. Thank you, Alice.
What?
Well, I try to know a diverse mix of people.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Alice got the credit on that one. I'm upset.
Yeah, I know what I said.
Anyway.
Let's be done.
Yeah.
Let's stop.
Yeah,
But you know what else should be?
No, nothing else.
Stop.
The latest
Nothing.
trend
Look at my artwork.
Cease.
Do it. Self-advertisement plug once again.
We gotta do the latest trend on Amtrak before it
You
gets
can
to
make
the
a
destination
nomination.
station because it's almost there. So,
Let's go.
what do
Oh,
you guys
boy.
think?
Empire Builder.
Which one?
Pick one.
Okay.
Sounds like cheese.
Which
Northbound.
direction?
Yeah. Come on, dude. What
For
direction?
sure limited.
What direction? Warhawk, trains
Westbound.
don't go one direction.
I mean, they do, actually.
Well, they do.
Westbound.
I've yet to see a
okay.
train go two directions at once.
Well, on the
Track
curb,
drifting.
that's very tight.
Amtrak 49 in Chicago.
Okay. And Jader?
Let's do.
Jeez.
Okay. Let's do the westbound capital.
Westbound Capital Punishment. Alright.
Northbound Coast Starlight, god damn it.
Okay. The Capital Limited to Chicago is 28 minutes early.
God,
Ooh.
F.
what?
Yeah.
What the hell?
This isn't right. There's a lot of backwards things happening.
I call
Yeah.
bullshit.
The Lakeshore
Yeah,
Limited.
incorrect.
The Lakeshore Limited to Chicago is 2 minutes late.
Ooh.
Hey, that's so far. Where is it?
The Empire.
You're winning so far.
It's on your.
So far.
It's on your doorstep. It's about to pull into Buffalo.
Yeah, that number's getting increased.
The Empire Builder is on time. That's the one that I picked for you.
Ooh.
Okay.
That said, the latest one out of all 4 of them is half an hour behind. So
Oh wow, it's a good day.
good day. Good
Yeah.
day for the Coast Starlight too. It's 6 minutes late.
Oof.
The latest train on Amtrak is the Crescent, because of course it's the Crescent.
Ooh.
The Crescent is it looks like a couple of miles from its destination station in New Orleans. It has crossed the lake, and it's in New Orleans proper already. And I've been staring at it, going, "Is it gonna beat us to the end of the podcast?"
We need to get there. We need to get there.
Oh boy.
So that's the latest train on Amtrak. It is the Crescent. Eric would have known because he cheats.
Yep.
Yes, he does.
All right, Leibold. For terminations, you're first because you have a point.
Yes, I'm aware.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
I'm going to put that in italics. Warhawk, you also have a point.
Oh, yay! What are the point system for again? I forget.
The point is, if you do something I don't like, I give you a point. Usually bad puns. So
Oh.
you get to say.
I
your
thought it was
last
me
word.
just slam talking the Patriots from being
Oh no, it wasn't that. But I should have given you another one for that.
too late now.
Okay, I'll fill in your termination for you if you don't already have one then.
Oh shit! I forgot about this part. It's been a while.
Plug.
Okay, Patriots,
Plug.
Raiders, then.
Artwork. Go look at my artwork. Do it.
If you give me a link, I will put it there.
I don't know if I can give you Instagram links.
Well, if you figure out a way to do it, let me know.
Just
Don't worry
do
about it right now.
Okay. So much pressure.
It's not. You're done talking.
Oh.
I will say Iron Horseman Wagon to the rescue, and I need to get my amber lights and definitely not legal preemption device. Milky?
Alright, I found this picture on Reddit. Bug at his engine in Scare Hillville, California. Same place that Troy used.
Oh wow. Poor things.
Yep.
And
Yeah, it's an Epstabit. Yep. Jader.
Jader makes tired tour guide
Jader.
noises.
Tired tour guide noises.
Jader has fallen asleep.
Somehow I'm not.
The man has fallen asleep in the podcast.
Alright, we have 3 potential titles, and I'll address them with you guys later. Everyone, you can
Okay.
go to the cargoes for all the links to the stuff that we talked about this episode, and we hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
Bye.